welcome back to the Everwind Chronicles. I am Doug, your Dungeon Master, and we are a group of friends and storytellers telling you story through Dungeons and Dragons. So, the party had been given a mission to kill Araziah, the court wizard of Lyrandil, while Adris, the leader of the rebellion, was going to go kill the king, Morthag. And so the party infiltrated Araziah's keep and faced a variety of challenges and fights and puzzles and magical effects and collected a good number of items until they finally reached the site of where the monarchs, these people that they've been encountering occasionally who are unusually powerful and able to do things that they shouldn't be able to do, are being made, and seeing some firsthand insight into how they were being made and the sort of realities of that process, and running into a variety of cells, empty and full, of people from various stages and records of people from previous, encounters they've had, and a lot of things, including one that they found particularly interesting, which was a blonde girl displaying some sort of power around threads that appeared and that she utilized, but never fully able to utilize them, that didn't seem to be affected by magic or the things that Araziah was able to figure out, and so her process was on hold. She didn't respond the way any other creature he'd experimented on did. And so they progressed on and went and finally found and confronted Araziah himself. And at the beginning, Araziah made the case that they should have a conversation first, a negotiation, making the case that although their methods differ, they both the Folly and Araziah fully believe that they are helping humanity in their own ways, and that he would prefer not to waste resources, and perhaps there's even some good from leaving them alive, and he certainly believed from leaving him alive. What ensued was a pretty in-depth conversation around morality and the gods and good and evil and what is justified and what's not justified. But it eventually led to a negotiation where he made a very powerful offer, which included a number of items, an immense amount of gold, surrendering the vial of darkfire that he had, and the return of Valen Wren to the party, in exchange for basically letting him and all of his, what turned out to be all of his keep, go, never to return to Lyrandil, and with no aggression or vow of revenge or anything like that for at least 6 months, and no, that if ever their purposes came at odds ever again, that they would at least parley with him first before acting. The party then had a very tough conversation, a tough decision, where Inthras had that conversation with them about being leaders, and that sometimes leadership involves decisions you don't want to make, decisions that you have to make for the good of the people you are leading or influencing, and it sucks. And that's part of being a leader, is owning up to that terrible reality. And the party, after a much agonizing decision making, ended up taking the deal. Araziah then honored his arrangement, lifting both curses from Sarek, and in the process misdirecting the apparent coven of hags that had been the source of 2 of his curses, misdirecting it to someone else. He delivered on everything. The party also, as part of that arrangement, took with them the 21 remaining members of the Monarch program that were under Erzai's control, at least. Those, a few of them seem to have completed the process, but many of them at different stages of that process and subsequently sanity. So they exited the keep. They were united with that group, and that group turned out to include Valen, who had apparently been successfully turned into a monarch himself. They then, as this is revealed, they see a flash from outside the building where they had met up in the city of Unity. They step outside and look and see the illusion that Erzai had promised of the keep exploding and then disappearing. And as they are sitting there watching, they hear a voice and turn to see a figure has appeared in the midst of the group, looking up with them at this spectacle, as they see a tall Fey figure, a male figure, who says, "Well, that did not go as I expected." And that's where we're going to pick things up.
I mean, I'm instantly like knife drawn, like somebody I don't know is now here, and I'm just like knife drawn, ready to attack.
Oh, so jumpy, so excitable.
Who the fuck are you?
Prince of Spring?
Bingo.
The fuck are you doing here?
Well, I mean, look, I just had to meet you, finally. Because, like, I gotta say, I'm a big fan. You guys are electrifying. Like, this whole thing was incredible. You guys have been so much fun to watch. Like, honestly. I mean, and this whole thing, like, I mean, the genius, intellectual wizard, one of the greatest magicians of an eon, against a group of misfit heroes that, might add, seemingly came out of nowhere just months ago. Went on an absolute tear through all the nations and just, getting caught up in all sorts of story threads they're not even aware of. I mean, anyone watching would have thought you guys' clash is just inevitable. And might I say, I was looking forward to it. But, the twist. My goodness. Making deals, breaking deals, showing yourselves all grown up and feeling guilty about it at the same time. Woo! Sent chills up my spine. I gotta say, watching you has been so much more rewarding than anything I had planned originally. Like, this is truly what is best about mortals. They're just so unpredictable. Like in this realm especially, like, you just never know what's gonna happen. It's great.
So you've been following the party?
Yeah, more or less. Ever since they kind of came out of nowhere. I think it was around the time you guys, when Vander Rixa went down. That shouldn't happen. Not with the people who are currently in Karandia. Not that easily. And, well, that kind of got my attention. And what a ride it's been.
And what stakes do you have in our story?
Oh, well, that's a story in and of itself. Oh, is that you want to hear it?
Oh, that's a question.
Okay, well, fine. One thing, and he as he starts talking, he just kind of walks around you guys a little bit and peeks in on the monarchs, and he is just kind of walking a little bit, and he does not seem concerned about you guys at all. But he does, at points, brush up against you. He's not an illusion. He seems to be there. Or at least you feel something physical as he brushes past you a couple times. One thing I find so fascinating, and yet perhaps a bit misguided about mortals. Many of them complain. Well, really, it tends to happen more with like wealthier folk and everything. People who aren't worried about where their next meal is coming from. Anyway, I've noticed that like the safer and more well-off a mortal is, the more they struggle with purpose. They talk about it like finding their place in the universe and that sort of thing. And I can tell you from experience, knowing your purpose is highly overrated. I am very, very old. In fact, I've been around for almost as long as this universe has, at least in this form. Like, I have a designated place, a purpose, a role. And that's never been a question for me. The eons passed, and there I was. Never rising, never falling. The sun never moved, the seasons never changed. Oh, I mean, some things changed, but not really. Like some cruel joke. Some illusion designed to torture you for thousands of years. But, thankfully, the universe is strange sometimes. And the smallest things can lead to the biggest changes. For me, that was when I met a passing wizard. One who just happened to have, and he's not really consequential, but he happened to have an item infused with power to project your consciousness. Really unique invention. It's one of a kind as far as I can tell. And I gave him all sorts of knowledge and power in exchange for it. And it became truly the most precious thing I had. I mean, it took some more time and considerable amount of my considerable power, but I figured out how to change its nature just a bit so that I could project my own consciousness to go beyond the Fey light. It was a strange experience crossing the veil for the first time, and at will. At least in spirit. But it was never true freedom. It was like a dream. It's like a fuzzy vision. And watching the known realms wasn't as interesting when you can't affect anything. But after a long time of doing that, I found a hole. A hole in the veil itself. Not a portal, more like a tear or a rift. A rift that led beyond the known planes. And then there was another rift after that, and then another one. There's a whole series of rifts going through into planes that even the greatest scholars of your kind couldn't imagine. And someone had torn through the veil at an unbelievable rate. And then I came to a plane that was, it was nothing. Just a great void. But then across that void was one more rift. And that is where I met him. He could see me. My projected consciousness. Something no other living creature had done.
And who is this him that you speak of?
Well, I doubt you know the name. But his name is Lucrin.
And what exactly is Lucrin?
I don't know that I care, honestly. Frankly. But I met him. like I said, he could see me. We spoke, and I told him about my dilemma, my prison, boredom. One, he gave me something. A gift. And suddenly, I had the key. This gift would set in motion the greatest story anyone has ever known. Like, honestly, a whole cascade of stories. Like, unimaginable villainy, astounding heroism, heartbreaking tragedy, tear-jerking acts of love, the rise and fall of the lowly and powerful. Like, everything would change. And I'd be right there, in person, for real. Not just to see it, but to orchestrate it. Like a conductor playing a symphony of billions of instruments. Or a story with like so many interwoven threads. Or a feast with, every imaginable permutation of every food and far more. Like a collection of masterwork paintings in the millions, and if you put them together, forms one mind-boggling masterpiece. Sorry. Like, I get carried away. I forget, the whole, like, you guys are mortal and can't really understand fully what I'm saying thing. Look, the important thing is, he showed me how to use this gift. The thing you call darkfire. See, if you know how to use it, it lets you bend or even break the rules of magic and honestly even reality itself. Pretty good stuff. So, what was I going to do with that trapped in my court? Well, with that gift, I was able to create a wine. It's a very special wine. A wine that, with a little bit of trickery, was powerful enough to almost completely drain one of the most powerful creatures in the Feylight. A sort of counterpart of mine.
The Autumn Princess.
Aha, you know part of the story. Well, I did. And from there, with her being almost mortal at that point, it was really, trivial to just send her over to the material plane where, if I'm not mistaken, she was captured pretty much immediately and died sometime later. Autumn was never the same after that. Anyway, after that, there was so much instability that, all the eyes of note were on her disappearance. That sort of power vacuum and imbalance that it created in the Feylight. And, between that and a little bit of deception left in my own court, I was able to finally make my escape. So, from there, like I said, I was able to start orchestrating the greatest story that's ever been told. Like, I finally wouldn't just be listening to some boring, stupid bard telling me a story for the 1,000th time. I was going to be doing something great. But I wanted to find a way to get the ball... Get the ball rolling. Something that would destabilize things, like an inciting incident or 2 or 5. Some chaos. Just to tip the scales and start the story. And what better way to do that than to select a few mortals and teach them how to use darkfire?
Time out, DM. Which one of us has the darkfire that we got from the dude?
From Arizaya?
Mm-hmm.
Oh wait, that was you, I think.
Am I holding it? I just want to make sure which one of us is holding it.
I thought he held it out and you were the one that grabbed it. I could
I'll
be
say
wrong.
between that and this time, I would say whoever you want to be holding it right now.
Okay.
If you want to hold it.
We'll say I was holding it, and after he said that, I would check my pockets.
Yeah, it's there.
Okay. He brushed by us, and I just making sure.
Sure.
Okay.
Yeah, so, that was me. Yeah, I guess the guys you've been chasing down have been, I guess you'd call them one-time pupils. That's a little too involved for me, but yeah, I did that.
To what end?
Well, I thought I'd just explain that.
Just for story?
He was bored and wanted to do something for shits and giggles.
But wasn't willing to give up his own power, so he took it away from someone so he could be more powerful, so he could be more of a puppet master.
Well, sorta. It is more that, like, as long as the court stayed in the balance, I needed something. You know, I wouldn't be able to leave. Like, I'm as much a part of the Phaelite as it is me. But with, you know, the Autumn Princess gone, and with the queens of their own low courts a little too distracted with that instance, and the ensuing war and everything else that's happened as a result, you know, it presented an opportunity for me to make my escape.
It's not like you just made the instability a little bit. You destroyed the Autumn Princess. And what was done to her in this realm was unfathomable. Horror.
I know. And look what it's done. Look at the people who are rising up to meet the challenge. It's great.
Mm-hmm.
How many other people did you give darkfire to?
Oh, that's a good question.
That's why I asked.
But why ruin the fun? You guys are doing a pretty good job. Just keep going. At least for as long as you can.
Sura's eyes are like molten red at this point.
And you're not the one.
So much anger and rage. I love it.
And you're not
into
the
the
one
spirit of things.
that made the holes or the rifts.
No, I found them. I don't, you know.
Can I do
didn't
an
make
insight check?
Sure.
Just want to make sure that's true. I don't have good insight. 22.
Okay. I will say, on the one hand, this guy does not seem like a guy who's hiding anything. Like, he seems like he is, you know, he has no reason in his mind to hide anything.
Other than being mischievous.
But being a druid, you do have some familiarity with Fey and their nature, and this is like a Fey of Fey. This is one of the rulers that some people classify as a god themselves. Like they're, you know, Fey are deceptive, and this is a Fey's Fey. So, who knows?
Okay.
You don't get the impression he's lying at all, but in the back of your mind, you're kind of going, but
Probably is.
would I really know if the
Yeah.
Prince of Spring
Yeah.
is lying?
Fair.
And that's all you want. It's just a story.
Yeah, pretty much.
So you don't want to topple nations like you've been doing with the darkfire.
Well, I mean, it was certainly a good, it's certainly good for entertainment value, for sure. But it's not just the bad things, it's the good things that happen, too. You gotta look at things in balance and just, you know, appreciate the unpredictability that things like that cause.
Oh, we've seen it.
Yeah, isn't it great?
No.
Oh, come on. How could you not see it? Don't you enjoy a good story from a bard? Don't you read books? Don't you listen to the songs? What good is any story if it's just, you know, if it's all nice and warm and fuzzy all the time? Nobody listens to those kinds of stories. Those aren't good stories. And I want to tell the best story ever told. Or at least orchestrate it.
I like those stories. The mundane, everyday. Two people walking down the street holding hands.
If that were true, people would write those stories, but they don't. Everyone needs chaos. Everyone needs evil, or else the good wouldn't mean anything. Find me a book that's like that people actually read, then we'll talk. But what's more important is that's not what I want. And at the moment, that's really all that matters.
Sura's like, she still has the knife in her hand and is just shaking because she knows she can't do anything to this guy. And the impotent feeling of like rage without a place to put it is like driving her mad.
Yeah, you see his eyes dart down to your kind of shaking hand or whatever. He's like, yeah, just hold on to that impulse, you know? Look, you're not ready. Not yet. But it's coming. I'm gonna give you a chance. Okay? But we gotta make sure you guys are ready for that. Right? You're just not there yet. A little more provision, a little more preparation, you know, a little more fun. And you'll have your shot.
And you?
Yeah. I want to join the fun too. But I got to make sure I got, you know, people who are ready for it. And you're just not there yet. That's no hard feelings. All right? That's not an insult to you. But you're just not there yet. But I'm going to make sure you get there. We're going to make sure we have a climax worthy of this, regardless of which way it goes.
Then how do we use darkfire?
Oh, you want to know, huh? Are you sure you want to know how to use it?
Well, you seem to be just giving the answer to everybody.
Well, select few. People I thought were going to use it in the most desirable way.
Well, if you want the greatest story ever told, and the bad guys have had access to the darkfire, why not give it to the good guys too and see what happens?
Well, frankly, it changes you. It's hard to have a really good, you know, a good guy of sufficient moral self-righteousness to, you know, who's wielding something like that. Like, it's, by nature, the worst stuff in existence. So, you know, it's just not something I think, you know, the people who call themselves good would be able to use and stay that way.
Then teach us how to permanently get rid of it.
Well, I mean, honestly, I don't really care about that piece. That's kind of up to you guys.
Then what do you bestow us that somehow tips the scales for more fun?
Well, that's the part you're gonna have to see when it comes.
I'm not a big fan of surprises.
Oh, was that like a hint? Like you didn't want me to surprise you? Well, I'm sorry. It's gonna happen. That's just the nature of a good story. If you knew what was gonna happen next, it wouldn't be a very good story. That's why half the things I'm doing, I don't know, you know, because I do it because I don't know what's gonna happen when I do it. It's what keeps life spicy.
If anyone could do surface level thoughts on a Surah's mind right now, it's just imagery of like flaying bodies. It's just a bunch of bodies with his face on it.
You know what my favorite thing about mortals is? It's their inflated sense of their place in this universe. Like, y'all genuinely think you're at the top. Or, like, if not at the top, close enough. Like, you do anything you want to life, like, below you, you know, in the chain, so to speak. Food chain, if you want to talk about it that way, or think about it that way. But, you know, if anything happens to them, oh, it's evil. It's tragic. But I say it's just the order of things. I mean, look. When I first learned how to project my consciousness, I watched some human kids. I don't know, farmers, I guess, or something. I don't know, I watched some kids, and they had like this slingshot. And they were taking pebbles, and they were trying to hit beetles on the side of a barn. You know, and now the farmer, you know, I looked into this. The farmer who owned this farm was like, had a reputation as like a really good guy, like really stand-up guy. And when he came around the corner and saw them doing this, you know what he did? Nothing. I mean, they're bugs. Like, who cares about them? I'm sure the bugs thought very little of it, and, you know, you can't really blame them, but, you know, no one thinks it's evil to kill beetles, even for entertainment. Like, the reality is that being like me is to you what what you are to those beetles, or maybe even like a plant or something. Like, this is just nature.
Well, I'm glad that you decided to have a face-to-face with us. But just like those bugs, we have better things to do. So unless you do want to throw down, which it doesn't sound like you do, why don't you just leave us and send us a calling card whenever you'd like to meet for a little
I will.
action.
Oh, I will. It's coming.
I'm looking forward to it.
We're getting close. So, take some time, relax, or maybe prepare, or do some other things. I don't really know or care, but just know there'll be some things coming your way.
Want to give us a hint?
Oh, I think I've given you all kinds of hints. I admit I have trouble, understanding what you guys are able to conceptualize, though. So if you don't pick up on it, I don't know.
Beetles may not understand what is happening to them when little kids are slinging rocks at them. But when those little kids die, those beetles know what to eat.
I tell you what.
That was very clever. Abuela's like, oh.
No, I like it. I like it. That's good. I'll tell you what. I'll say this. In order for a story to have the appropriate climax, the heroes have to have an appropriate threat. So what would be the worst thing that could happen to this universe? That's where I'll leave you. But it really was, and I'm serious, really great to meet you, because, like I said, I have been a fan, follow you guys and your journey. Oh, it's good stuff. I'm just so excited. Come on, aren't you pumped? Let's go. And with that, you see like this kind of poof of green and leaves, and he disappears.
Sir just takes that like rage dagger, and whatever the closest wall is, she's just like, like she's just like, like grinding her dagger on it, just like.
You get your chance.
It is two people. Two people on my list now. And I still have the thing in my hand that like gives me power over the monarchs. Because that was the one I was past it.
Yeah, I mean, so you were given a letter of like certification, but it was for the group.
Yeah.
So basically anybody can give them orders, or
Okay.
at least the ones who have completed it.
And what's the chaos situation like outside this?
Well, in the area
building?
you're at, it's still a little quiet because you're in one of the abandoned areas of the city. But you do hear in the distance a lot of commotion, like shouting and things of that nature.
I don't care right now. I run over and I hug Bowen.
And you wrap your arms around him, and he doesn't really return it.
Yeah.
Just
I figured. It's good to see you again.
yeah, it's it's always good to see you.
I can't imagine what they did to you, and I know that you're not in the right space. But we're gonna get you back.
I know. I'm gonna pass this test.
What test is that?
The test to finish.
Test.
He's an unfinished monarch.
If
He thinks this is part of the training, probably.
I see you all the time. And I know that if I pass enough tests that I'll see the real you.
The real me?
He doesn't believe it's us.
Yeah. I have to get back to you. I have to find the Emerald Dragon. I have to continue my Suto. Or maybe this is part of it. It's kind of hard to know anymore.
We're gonna help you with that, okay?
Sure.
Stoic, come here. Stand.
He does.
The rest of you stand too.
Well, the rest of them were, actually.
Oh.
Only you nailed.
You are responsible for protecting the other members here who cannot follow directions perfectly yet. Do you understand? You will create a flanking system around them and keep them safe as we exit the city. They are your responsibility. Do you understand?
So you see 3 of them respond. One is the one that's sort of metallic in nature. I apologize, roll 20s, having trouble. If you give me a second, I'll show you what these guys look like.
No, we're gonna pretend we ask their names too, so when you show us the pictures, you can tell us who they are.
Yeah, that'd be great. That'd be great. That'd be great.
Sure. And it did not save them, so hold on one second. Play some hold music.
That like the music from the when you're on hold with the phone.
Cisco music.
Yeah, there you go. I like the Jeopardy. I like the Jeopardy music better.
I don't know how much I can sing before copyright. It's like, hey, by the way,
By the way.
what if I just start singing Disney tunes? How could we be using Disney and we'll get here?
I had a buddy that.
Not the bam, 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 bam.
No, I had a buddy that was like really big into car stereos, and he would whenever he got into drive-through lines, he would play the Jeopardy song at like the top of his volume for the cars in front of him.
I feel like I would have, if I was working drive-thru, I'd have hated that.
Yeah.
I'd be like,
He's back.
yep.
Alright, so first, while I'm getting these one by one together for you here, so actually this is, once it switches, is what Farian looks like.
For the viewers at home,
Very.
if you ever want to know how to cry on command, go to acting school. Or just be really emotionally invested in all your characters and then you just cry whatever you can.
Oh boy.
Please, don't ever play Valen. Please don't do that. That was horrific. I hated this.
Oh.
I don't like him.
No. He doesn't look nearly as jovial as you portray him.
That's a punchable face. Let me just tell you that
Yeah.
right now.
Yeah, I'm gonna enjoy that one. So how are we getting out of the city, guys?
The chaos. We're
Yeah.
following the chaos.
Yeah, but any ideas on what we do with these people? You talked to your boyfriend, right?
No, we contacted what's her face? Magic lady. The one that changed Enthras.
yeah.
We're meeting her outside the city. We have to just get everyone out.
It's not Laura, it's I can't remember her name. But yeah.
Technically, there's like a flying carpet we could try and load some of them on.
Yeah.
Anyone who's like
Fits.
not coherent enough to like walk, we could try and load them onto the
I was basically
carpet.
just gonna get us to a part of the wall that we could basically fly over in like segments.
Yeah.
But I just needed the ones who were commandable to basically like I needed German shepherds.
So we're gonna
basically.
Yeah.
run out, get out of the city, drop off the kids with the resistance or what's left of it.
Well, we need to meet up with what's her face, and then we'll figure out what we do with all these people.
Where to next? I really want to go back across.
Alright, I apologize. I had all this saved last week, and it
Do we not want to
is-
bamf into the pocket dimension?
Yeah, with the actual,
The dark fire, drop it off.
yeah,
I thought about that too, but
and the people that have the dark fire.
I think it's important that we bamf.
I do too. Because now we have a lot more important information.
Well, we also have Enthras, who she hasn't decided yet if she wants to join.
Yeah. Well, and because I know you're gonna want to be there, are gonna have to have a long written conversation with a friend of ours.
You mean my Autumn Princess?
Okay. Sorry. So you saw the big fat guy. He is there.
I thought we killed him.
Nope. This guy has a helm, so he's not wearing it at the moment, but that's what he looks like in full get up. So that's one of them that is with you.
What's his name? Do we know?
His name is Thorcold.
I'm sorry, what?
Oracle.
Thorcold. So Thor, like the god, Kold.
He's a cold door.
Sure.
I mean,
Thank you for
how's the
He's got a
temperature?
cold door.
How's the temperature? Thorcold.
Oh man, you guys. I appreciate that.
Thank you.
He snaps to a very precise, like, military attention, and like gives you like this, salute with, it's like on his breast with two fingers out. Just a very precise and practiced military gesture, and he says, "It shall be done." The other one. Looks like this.
Punisher. Nice.
Right now, his that hood is kind of pulled up, and he just
That's the
nods.
character from Mass Effect.
And his name?
His name is Rezulon.
Regulon?
Rezulon.
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 Same makeup brand I use.
So we have Thor and the Punisher in our lineup. Who else we got?
Great MCU lineup here.
And that is current day Valen.
I don't like that at all. I don't like that for 1 second. This is horrible. I hate this. This is gross. Put it back. I don't want it.
And we were told that he has dark fire in him. He just hasn't finished.
No,
No, you don't really know the detail. You haven't really explored the details
Okay.
yet. You just know he thinks this is a test, and it's that
Right.
the party is not real. That he has apparently been seeing.
But
them
didn't
this
we
whole
come
time.
across his plaque? Like, didn't we come across his room?
No. Mm-mm.
Okay.
It was a
He
different
hasn't
chamber.
fully been brainwashed yet, just really close.
There's another
Okay.
little bit closer up.
I don't like this. Mm-mm. No, put it back. Put it back. Your sister's gonna be so mad.
This is on a rampage.
What's his name?
Balin.
Oh,
B-A-L-A-N.
yeah.
That's character. That's his OG character.
Yeah.
We just need to get him a wig.
Put his long hair back on.
Uh-huh.
Maybe some makeup.
Yeah.
A lot of makeup.
That's just a little bit of under eye
It'll be
circles. It's
fine.
fine.
Yeah.
Resolon will help us with that.
Don't borrow your face.
Oh. Yeah, that hurts.
Yeah.
How much can the carpet carry again?
800 pounds
Okay.
for 30 feet.
For 30 feet.
Well, I guess 30 feet per like round or whatever you want to call it. Because I was looking at
That's its move speed.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Not like it can only go 30
Yeah,
feet.
its flying speed is 30 feet.
And it's
And-
10.
I would say realistically probably 6 normal like regular sized targets.
Uh-huh.
Do I get a sense of how long it would take to go up and over the wall in this back area? Going 6 at a time?
Avoiding patrols that are now aggravated, and there's a lot of stuff happening right now. To get, let's see, you've got what, 21 plus
6 of us? Yeah.
6 of us, yeah.
So 27 people.
27 people, so what is that?
it'd be 4.
5 trips.
Yeah.
6 and 4 is 24.
Yeah, then 27 for the last 3.
Yeah. Then it'd be 5 trips. How long would
Yeah.
it take to go up and over, do you think?
I mean, you do get the impression Thorkel can fly, possessing
Yeah.
a pretty impressive set of metal-covered wings.
Valen can scale, right? But he's a monk. He can just like climb up the wall.
Yep.
He just doesn't- he
If
can
the
just
wall
walk-
is like climbable, the walls you've seen have been fairly smooth.
Can't you just like walk up walls now? Isn't that a thing, a monk trait?
Well, I
I
don't
wouldn't know
think
that.
you would
Depends
know
on
what
the
a
level.
monk can do
Yeah.
at later levels, and you
Yeah.
also don't know what this Valen can
Yeah.
do.
That's true.
You know that you do know monarchs are heavily messed with, both not just mentally, like
But
their,
physically, yeah.
their training, their abilities, and the way darkfire affects them and what it enables them to do. You have no idea at the moment.
I talked to Valen, Thorcold, and Reslon, and I was like, your responsibility is to herd the rest of them. And then I just go to Enthras and I say, we are going to jump this fucking wall.
All right.
And who has the carpet?
We all do.
Yeah, so probably me because I've got the bag of holding. I figure we.
Yeah.
And just unfurl the carpet and what is it? Like, how do you kick it into gear?
It's a magic word.
And it probably has a word.
I think it does have a word.
How tall is the wall?
Wasn't it like 60 feet?
Yeah, it's pretty sizable. This is a very well-built city.
Do we have to like attune to the carpet to get the magic word, or did we just know the magic word then?
I'm pretty sure. I mean, it is as written. This carpet of flying is as written, so if it should be in there.
It's actually not on here, so I'm just going to assume we get to make up the word then.
Just create password. Come on.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, you definitely can make up the word.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We'll just
No attunement.
yeah.
Yep.
Technically, as a note, so it flies at 30 feet per second it's a 30-foot
seconds.
flying speed.
Yeah.
It is 800 pounds, but it can actually carry up to 1,600 at half speed.
Okay.
Which might be, who knows how much that one guy weighs.
So we can fit a lot on there. It's just going to take a little bit longer. Probably save us trips.
It would be the same. I mean, it ultimately be the same amount of time.
Yeah,
It's
which is a
either-
good note because that guy is not naturally obese. He is like a blob, and
Something's made.
he's probably going to need a dedicated trip.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm just gonna be like, you get on the fucking carpets because he's gonna slow us down as we try to get to the wall.
Okay, and he like almost sort of like rolls forward and like it's this weird, almost like his fat is not just fat but moves on its own, and like he just sort of like starts moving forward and looks at you and is like, I'm hungry.
We'll get food later.
And he kind of sludges onto the...
Does the carpet pick him up?
Takes a second, but it does.
Okay. Then I basically like, we're moving now. Everyone on guard. And I just start, I know this part of the city because I had done the prep work before. This is the abandoned part of the city, right?
Yes.
Because I had done the prep
This is part of your original escape routing that you did.
I want to go. I basically want to take the group towards what looked like a relatively quiet part of the wall, considering what the original tracking was. Because obviously, I don't know what people's patterns are now in the chaos. But I imagine instinct kicks in for a lot of these people, and they're not going to track a new track. They're going to either stick to their original campus track, or they're going to go further into where the explosion took place.
Well, make a perception check for me.
That is going to be a 20... What was my number again? It's going to be a 20... Perception. 24.
Okay. So as you get closer, and you start looking up and down the wall as best you can, and trying to see torches, carried by patrols, you're currently seeing twice as many as you saw before.
In the area that I'm
Yeah,
taking
you
everybody
get the
to.
impression they have doubled their wall guard because of everything that's happening and the active attack they're under.
In the area that I'm taking them to, or just like
All
or
along
all
the wall,
around?
as far as much as you can see.
Do I see a gap anywhere in their kind of
I mean,
fortification?
there are gaps in their patrols. It's just, it's risk.
Yeah, I'm going to basically start immediately tracking the gaps and trying to throw us over during the gaps.
Okay. Do just a straight intelligence roll for me, though.
That is going to be a natural 19.
Okay. And anything else anybody would like to do to help this, or
Are we trying to go store them someplace and then send individual trips of people on to go over and then out?
Yeah, basically I'm trying to get everyone over to the other side.
But everyone all at once, or are you trying to do it groups at a time so that
since I
we can
can't
hit
get-
the gaps?
Yeah,
of
basically I
guards?
can't get everyone over at once because the carpet can't do it, and we don't have a scaling system.
Sorry, gotta pass without a trace, buddy.
I can do pass without a trace. I can do it.
I remember Cody
easily.
saying this last time. She did prepare stone shape, so she could make a
Oh.
door
Oh,
in the wall.
that would be
Because I
great.
remember she
That's what you were
prepared
checking.
it.
Yeah.
She prepared it specifically, knowing that we might have to do that. I remember
Yeah.
saying that, and I'm looking at her spells and is it prepared?
Would she be able to open a door through the stone wall?
Let's see. Make a small passage through a wall as long as the wall is less than 5 feet thick. So I don't know how thick the wall is.
The wall is definitely bigger, thicker than 5 feet.
Okay.
I think. Let's see.
It's 60 feet high. It's gonna be about 20 feet wide.
Yeah, that's what I was about to say. It's about 20. So I would allow it. She'd probably have to cast 4 times. So can she do that?
What's the spell level?
4th.
Does she have fourth level spell?
She's
level?
got
4th or higher.
3 4th levels, 2 5th levels.
Would she be able to push
Sixth level.
further through if she casted a higher level?
I don't think
No.
it doesn't stack like that, no, unfortunately. So we could still try to go over the wall.
Well, because if
Or-
we're trying to if we can start to get some people over the wall while she's digging through the wall, in theory we could get half over and half through.
And just kind
If
of.
Well, it
things
only
go well.
take if she casts it rapid fire, it's an action, so it's like one round. But it's only going to take 24 seconds.
I think it'd be less conspicuous for us to go through the wall rather than over on a big flying carpet for 6 trips.
Yeah.
Okay. Then I get us to. I start looking for the gap in the people coming through, and I say right here, and I just instantly have us all trained watching, like the space around us to if anybody comes towards us, we're on site.
Okay. So, anything else?
I'm gonna center myself on the groups of people that seem to be like they would be the least stealthy. So of the people that we're with, of the 21, and just try to be myself there, and then I will cast Pass Without a Trace so that I am covering their stealthiness a little bit.
Can you cast it as well?
Yep, I can.
And
That
does
way
that
we
get us
have-
enough cover for everybody?
That way we at least have some bonus to that.
Give us a little, like 60 feet of coverage or something.
Yeah. Which is hopefully everyone.
And I've made myself look like a guard.
Nice.
Okay. Then, so the party roll a stealth check, and somebody roll for Zenoa.
We got her up, so I'll go ahead and take care of
You
it.
got that?
And
Since I got her up here.
Let's go.
Yes.
So,
rolled real good.
I know. I freaking love stealth because my numbers are stupid.
Alright, so just so
I
Zenoa,
will,
make
I will
it
roll
so it
for the
doesn't
3
overlap.
monarchs you have active at the moment.
Okay.
And then somebody roll for the group of the remaining at disadvantage because they are at various levels of.
roll high for
It's okay.
Not good? Plus 10 though.
Yeah, it's a 12 for the group.
Okay.
I rolled well for Zenoa, I think. Oh wait, does she still
She has my boots on, so she's
Ah,
not rolling
good.
with disadvantage.
Just gotta get up to Alan's updated character sheet.
I hate that. I hate that so
Yeah.
much. It makes me so sad.
It breaks my heart.
Ugh. Did you know that you were never getting Valen back?
Well, I mean, when I made the decision, I went into it with the mindset like I will not see Valen. I will not be playing
I don't
Valen
think so.
again. That was my mindset.
No,
I figured you're most big spells. They're probably like actually big hitting
hurts my
spells,
heart
but
so
how
much.
did I
almost all my.
Oh,
Since
wait,
only have
I
3,
could-
they're almost all attack.
I could polymorph the big guy if we needed to make it go a little faster, but
That's not.
I can't concentrate on 2 spells. I think polymorph is concentration.
I think right now
Yeah.
we have him up and flying at this
Okay,
point.
so as long
I
as
think
we're good up, but I
it took a
could
minute to get
technically
it up, but
make
you
him an
said now
ant,
that
like
it's
an
up,
animal.
we're not at a disadvantage to move it forward.
Great.
Momentum is not our issue. It was
Yeah,
just
so
Amazing. Just make
we'll
it a
walk and keep him on the carpet.
yeah. Well, basically, I was thinking have it like as a hoverboard kind of.
Well, I'm
situation,
also
just so
wondering
long
if
as
he
we're
can
off.
Like
fit
a
through the
Java
little hole
on a
we're making.
Yeah. That's exactly what I was thinking in my mind. I was like, it's jump on the platform.
Uh-huh.
We need that one spell that nobody likes, like Tosh's disc or whatever.
Yeah.
You know.
You mean the one that you
That-
used that one time and beheaded my dude?
You're
It doesn't
one
move,
shot.
and that guy was moving really
I
fast.
still think about that regularly. Yeah, we were on like a driving course, and he was like, he just put the disc there, and my guy just went whoop. And
Wow.
I picked that spell only because we were doing a driving thing, and I was
Wow,
like,
wow, wow.
this spell.
I will say to this day,
So funny.
it is the reason I don't think I could ever DM again because that stressed me out so much. It was fun. I was really happy with the build I did, but y'all murdered my dude so hard.
Amazing.
That was probably the most legit use of that spell.
It was so good. I was so angry when you did it too because I saw it coming. I was like, and then he failed his dexterity save to try to avoid it. And just went straight through.
Oh my.
That was
It
awesome.
was so funny.
Okay.
Do you want to know my roll?
Yes.
My stealth roll?
Yeah.
I wanna beat you.
41.
42!
Now,
It's the only way I could have gotten it because I got a natural 19. So,
I rolled a 17 on the die.
yeah, if you had rolled anything better.
21.
That makes me really excited though.
I got a 30 and Zenoa got 29.
Okay, cool.
And their group got a 12.
So
Yeah.
hopefully.
I'm sure Valen's gonna roll up in the high 30s.
Mm-hmm.
Alright, so then the 3 monarchs,
I think we're creeping along, and I give you the look.
14, 20.
Can you guys even see each other?
We keep disappearing in the same spots because they're the best hiding spots. Like,
Oh, sorry. We keep running into each other.
24,
that's the only way you can see it. It's so far hidden that we're in the same hidden spots. That's why we can see each other.
24, 21, and 22. Okay.
Nice.
Not great, but not terrible. Plus, I mean, with the plus 10s,
Yeah.
that's not.
Not super fantastic.
No.
They didn't roll very well. Oh, and Anthros. Actually, okay.
And Zenoa had the information about where we were meeting up.
23. Yeah.
Okay.
Yep, which is about a day away, so. Okay. All right. So, as you make the effort, I'm going to be making some checks for the patrols to see if they notice as you guys try to make your way through the door.
Is there any additional perception I could do so that, I mean, I can't be snuck up on, but I want to make sure that we have plenty of.
Yeah, I'm taking that into account,
Okay,
basically. For the,
I have alert. You can't sneak up on me.
yeah, it's basically like a bonus to the kind of group average roll that
Okay.
I was doing for that. So. Okay, so the first 2 groups seem to make it through over. It does take some additional time because you're waiting for the right moments and you're trying to be quiet and move slowly and carefully through this. Not just on the inside, but on the outside as well. Trying to, because it's tricky because it's not just about gaps, but it's about timing it so that you have the maximum amount of time to get from the wall to any sort of tree cover outside the wall without being spotted. And so it's actually less about hitting the middle of the gap, but actually more about hitting towards the back end of the first patrol.
Yeah, it's the pendulum sort of situation.
Yeah, and so the first 2 groups make it through without incident.
Okay. And I always send one of our group with each group, like one of our people, because we are all able to control the 3 guys. And I try to send one of them with a group as well,
Okay. Okay.
as best as I can.
We are doing the stone shape, right? That's how we're getting.
Yeah, we're stone shape is getting us through, building us a tunnel.
Goes off.
And the last 2 rolled really terrible. So
Let's go.
including a nat 1. So
Fuck.
you guys are able to get through the tunnel and make it through without incident. As you do, you are hearing a lot of shouting. There seems to be excitement and confusion and just sort of a sense of pandemonium that you can hear from the city. Like you can see as you make it out and you kind of look back into the distance, you can see kind of a build up as apparently the gates have been closed. You're leaving a mess behind.
What's new?
A mess of a city. But
We left a mark again.
you slowly and carefully make it out into the countryside, and yep, also not good. So you don't run into any patrols on the outside of the wall either. You see them, but you're able to kind of maneuver the group with the help of the monarchs and everyone working very diligently and carefully. which is actually turns out to be a challenge because some of these people, like this giant, for example, who is a very difficult squeeze through the tunnel, you know, and absolutely would have failed outright if not for the pass without a trace. It's difficult because the giant is almost catatonic. He sort of responds with some coaxing, but he is mainly just repeating the same things over and over. Only sort of half even aware that there's stuff happening around him and just kind of doing what he's told a little bit, but not fully, and you don't get the impression he's really there. And most of these people are at various states of that. Mm-hmm. The only other one that seems to have completed enough to respond to orders, but not
That's not under that.
that isn't completed. So he hasn't been infused with darkfire, which you know from the notes, was the shadow elf. And I'm forgetting his name. Give me 1 second and I'll get it to you. Izirex. Izirex.
Cool. Does he make good copies?
Thank you. It was too. I didn't want to touch it. I'm like,
Hey, I'll touch it for you. I instantly retract that.
slip of the tongue.
No, thank you. Not that either.
Okay. So with that, you disappear into the forest at night in Femoria, and you guys are headed to try and meet up with Alanya.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So taking some time, kind of moving slowly, trying to avoid patrols. You eventually see, the sky begin to lighten as dawn approaches, and it gets harder. And so you have to swing wider than you perhaps intended to maintain tree cover, and you're just trying to be very careful as you move in gaps where there are no trees and farmland, because Femoria is not mostly forest. It's got little patches of forest and some forests, but it's a lot of farmland. And so, and unfortunately, this being what should be spring, but is quickly becoming summer, is, there's not like crops that you can hide in and things like that either. So this is a pretty difficult trip that's taking you a while. So what would be a day trip is more like 2. And so traveling with I would also say traveling with these monarchs is it's not just difficult, it's disturbing, because you're basically transporting an insane asylum in some part.
Mm-hmm.
And even the ones who are completed, they are fully coherent, they are fully functional, but you just can tell there's something not right with them. Like there's just something off about them. There's something off-putting. It's almost like an uncanny valley type situation, but it's not quite that, because they are what they are. But they're just not right.
Mm-hmm.
And they all have their own obsessions, like single-minded purpose, that every order you give them seems to be interpreted into that into serving that purpose. Just like you saw with the notes about Belladonna and others, is like their desires are what is twisted to make them follow orders, and to thinking that their greatest desires are in following the orders.
And Valen's greatest desire is to get back to us.
Yep. From Valen, it's getting back to you guys. It's finding the Emerald Dragon, continuing his journey.
Asura always sits across from, like when we're like doing our like camping resting moments, Asura always sits across from Valen and just like watches him. And I think on like towards like our second camping night, I make some of the tea that he had given me, that I just was like making for like us. And then I don't finish my cup and I give it to him to finish. And I just like see if he reacts to the flavor.
Yeah, the first time you give him the tea, you know, he takes it without a word and he drinks it. And you can almost see the wheels turning a little bit. And he just and then sets it down. You know, it's like that. You try various things. Enthris tries a couple times to talk to him, and it's like everything that is familiar is, he believes it's not real. As you travel with him, you begin to understand that he has apparently been seeing images of you guys and being shown interactions with you guys constantly, to the point that, and it was always tests. It was always part of tests and part of how they structured his desires into what he became. And so even things like the tea that he might have enjoyed, he doesn't think it's real. And so even if there's a moment of like enjoyment, he just ends up like, yeah, but this isn't real, and just kind of goes back to the sort of blank stoicism that's sort of like a severe version of Valen's already less emotional persona. Mm-hmm. And you see, each night, the 2 nights that you see him try to meditate as you've seen him do in the past, but like you can see on his face that he like isn't really able to successfully do it. It's like tortured. It's like he can't fully find that centering or that peace that he used to be able to.
When Asura's doing watch, she's like running laps. Like she can't stay still, and so she's just like she's doing like guard duty by like literally running laps. And it's just a lot of like rage running.
Sure. But you find that with all of them, all of these successful monarchs, is they all display these weird traits and these issues with them. You find that they're, like I said, they're all obsessed. They all interpret everything through that in various ways. And it's...
What the other two, what have we noticed them saying?
Well, you're welcome. If you want to, you can say that you talk to each of them and learn a little bit more.
Yeah. I was definitely hoping. I think Abuelita is definitely like obviously cooking, but I think she has tried to take time to listen to each person's repetitive desire, and trying to her best to find ways to like bring it in, especially just for like when we're walking and stuff, to be like, oh, you're gonna be asking for this, try to anticipate that and be like, oh, you need food, you keep asking for food, so let me keep giving you like little bits of the thing that you need so I can help in any way make it feel more comfortable, but also just get to know what kind of things they're desiring and struggling with, because she would definitely want to know.
So, you see, 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 I'll just go one by one. So starting with the Xerex, you find that he is actually from a village in deep in some mountains in the Endless Shadow. He is part of it's a small village that is centered around an order that he never names, is not allowed to name. You could make him, but unless you want to, I would assume you just, he tells you that he's not allowed to name it, and you let it
And he's
go.
also incomplete too, right? He doesn't have the fire.
He
so.
is complete in everything except the infusion.
Okay.
So he's not been given the gifts of whatever goes with darkfire, or what was intended with him for darkfire, but everything else up till that point. So all the other training and brainwashing and everything else is there, which your notes on him said. Like, he was completed. He's just ready for the final step, and it just hadn't got there yet. So he's a monarch in every way except for darkfire and whatever it was going to grant
In
him.
all ways except physical, I am.
Yeah. And so, he describes, this village is centered around an order of what you determine are like a mix between monks and assassins, like just very disciplined assassins that are utilized in certain political happenings in the Endless Shadow. And he is one of the most gifted, if not the most gifted in the village, and the village gets raided, and he is taken, and most of his village is murdered, and his desire is vengeance on whoever it was that did that. And so his impression is that following all these orders is going to eventually get him to that goal. Thorkald, you find out, is actually a fairly rare form of Azamar, which has wings. He was an elite soldier of Targonia, but was disgraced when he refused to kill the children of a family that had been ordered killed, like an important family. So his big desire is basically to restore his honor. Rezulon, you find out, is actually, he was a soldier of the People's Army who displayed an unusual level of skill, but eventually crossed the wrong officer and was pinned with a false accusation of disloyalty. And part of his process involved being merged with essentially somewhat mechanical, like magically mechanical golems. Basically it was a golem experiment that was found in Northfire. Don't really know the origins, but
So it's part cyborg.
more or less, yeah. And his desire is revenge as well, and something else that he can't quite figure out that's somewhat interfering with his desires. And then the last one, Bunder, is the name of the
Bunder?
fat guy.
Bunter.
He was found starving to death on the streets of Shiggorath, but demonstrated some magical abilities. Long story short, he was sold. He was taken as a slave and sold with utilizing some of those magical abilities. One of the scouts for Arizaya saw the potential, and he was a starving, highly impoverished person, and so that food motivation became part of his training. And so that is his desire. Food.
But that's the bad guy, right?
Yeah.
The blob.
Sir is especially uncomfortable with his story because it's not dissimilar. Keep dropping popcorn in my book.
Yep. You know, and with each story, it just kind of strikes you just how cold you have to be to kind of manipulate a person's deepest desires into what they've become. Like, each one is a tragedy.
Did you say Farians? Did I miss that one?
Varian is the evil elf guy from the Feywild. He's not one of the darkfire guys.
Oh, he's not Darkfire.
He's the darkfire guy.
The Darkfire.
Yeah.
The prince?
Yeah.
The rest of them either don't really engage with you or somewhat fearfully engage with you. They don't really understand what's going on. They don't really trust what you're saying because of everything they've been through and everything. You understand deception is a big part of the brainwashing process, and so they're left not trusting anything that they're seeing, not trusting that you're not going to hurt them. It's like they're going to do it. They're all afraid, and like I said, a lot of them not really sane. They were stopped at different parts of the process of breaking them mentally, and so there's not as much meaningful that you can get out of most of them. And that includes the girl, who is the only unusual thing about her is that she doesn't seem afraid of you. You can't fully engage her. Her responses are very odd. And you're welcome to try and converse with her if you want, but she is the interesting, or maybe off-putting, if however you interpret it, thing about her is that she tends to actually stay closer to you guys than the others. Like, in weird ways, like you'll just turn and she's just sitting there at the fire, around the fire with you guys, just kind of staring serenely, not at anything. And
Is she really young?
yeah, she's kind of ambiguous. It's like maybe late teens into her 20s, somewhere around there. She looks young, but it's kind of hard to tell.
During this travel, I would have asked you to reach out to my autumn princess.
Before we get back?
Yeah, because I would want her to know immediately
Yeah.
about the prince.
Yep, so I'm gonna message Selena.
Okay.
I don't think we need to go the whole thing, but I'm basically gonna explain to her, hey, you've got a lot of chaos going on in the fairy realm. We just met the Prince of Spring, and he's the one behind the disappearance of, like, the Autumn Queen, and he has plans to, we don't know what yet, but that will probably destroy both realms. Just voice all of our concerns to her, just so that she can give the other royalty a heads up of what he's doing.
Or for her to be on guard because he did it to the last autumn princess, and whether she's taken the mantle yet or not, I don't know. But certainly she is the descendant of.
There's a bit of time before she replies, but eventually you do see the writing appear, and she says, "So that's what happened to my mom."
Yeah.
Thank you for telling me. We had heard that the Prince of Spring was acting oddly, but no one had said he'd left. I guess if whatever he did, whatever the deception that you said he left behind is there, maybe somebody's impersonating him, and that would explain why he's acting oddly. And I'm unfortunately, I don't know if the queens of summer and winter will be interested since they're fighting each other. Like, the Phalite is in chaos, not because they're summer and winter are just going to expand. If he's gone, there may only be 2 seasons left, and that would be, the world can't survive that way.
Also, can you tell her to warn Cithrus that he has a mark on him from some hags? Please, I know you. From the wizard.
Yeah. Wait, did he transfer it on to Cithrus?
Yes, that's what he said.
Essentially, like
That's what he did. He basically turned the hags to Cithrus.
Because he used my spell to...
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
I was like, wait...
Don't tell her that,
Been a little bit. I'm not
Yeah.
going to give her those...
Tell her that a very powerful wizard turned some hags onto Cithrus. And that he should be on guard.
Yeah. I will let her know that. To inform Cithrus that we heard word that a powerful wizard may have tagged him to be in danger of hags. If she can.
Well, I'm glad you mentioned him, because he's the only one I know who's actually been to the Court of Spring and would have met, he knows Varian. So maybe he could help you. But how do you know, like, what happened?
I leave that to your discussion.
We have gathered a few curses on ourselves over our travels, and a powerful wizard broke these curses. One of them was put on me by Cithrus, and unbeknownst to me, the wizard had to relocate the hag's attention from one of our companions' curses. And he didn't know that Cithrus was a friend of ours, and he kind of redirected it in his direction.
Is this the deal you made with Cithrus a while ago?
It is, and but like I said, I had a couple curses on me, and it was kind of a package deal. So when all the curses were broke, that was one of them.
I'm stoic.
I hate the Feywild so much.
I hate disappointing her more than anything in the world.
I know you're not Fey yourself, so it's hard for you to understand. I wouldn't have understood until I've been here, as long as I have. That's not good, Stoic. They consider it worse than, like, evil. Like, I explain it, bargains are precious to them. And the keeping one is just... It's almost hard to calculate not keeping one.
I mean, I do feel bad about it. I didn't know when I made the deal that it was going to be forever. I thought it was like the deal, and then we did the deal, and I did take the binding on myself. But then I had a chance to get rid of the binding. It's not like I didn't let him do it. I kind of saw it as like, you know, somebody gives you a pair of shoes, it doesn't mean you need to wear them every day for the rest of your life, especially if they don't fit.
So, who are you trying to convince?
I just know he's going to be very upset. And I don't want to make him upset. I really, truly, in my heart, do not want to make him upset. I guess I just did not put the same value on forever punishments as he did.
I know. I'm part human myself, so I understand better than most of my kind. Although, to be honest, I'm not sure how much of the human part will stay the longer I stay here, but at least right now I understand. But bargains and debts are everything. It's a big part of their morality. It's part of their... I don't know. I don't have the words to really convey it. You know, it's I understand, but I don't know that he will. He's already long been under the impression of certain opinions of how your group has treated him.
Oh, I'm aware he does not like me. But that doesn't mean that I wish ill upon him. I would still be there for him if he needs help. I hope he knows that. That's why I'm hoping you can get that message to him.
Don't you have a way to contact him?
Not all the way in El Raqqa.
He was under the impression you did have someone who could do that.
Oh. Yeah.
I didn't know if
I
he was
could
back
have
in...
circumvented this whole conversation.
Sure, but I wasn't sure if he was back in the Feywild, and I didn't know if I didn't think her message could go through the veil.
Yeah, I don't know if it can either. We weren't sure where he's at and if he was back in the Feywild. So we thought...
What do you mean?
Well, he was in El Raqqa last time we saw him.
Yeah, he made a deal with you.
Yes.
Cithra says a lot of things, but he'll keep his end of bargains.
Oh yeah, which is to like help build the resistance.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, well, he might not help now.
He can't leave.
Oh, did I accidentally bind him to Elra? Oh shit! Oh shit!
I'm the one in trouble.
Oh no! I didn't realize what I had done.
We don't mix well with Fey. We really don't.
Except my beautiful princess.
It's because she's human.
Sort of.
Sort of. Just
Now.
down, yeah.
Tell her that I love her and I miss her and hope she's well and that she's eating enough and that I hope she's happy wherever she is and I hope she's making friends. Just tell her all of that, please.
Azura says hi.
And the rest of it too. I see you writing.
Hello. I do miss you all.
Says she misses you. Well,
I miss her every day.
just do what you can with this information to try and keep the Feywild from imploding on itself. And we're going to do what we can to keep the mortal realm from imploding on itself due to the Prince of Spring.
Well, I'll let Mother know. Although I don't know that she will get directly involved, I'll let her know.
Okay.
She can at least keep the grove safe.
And
We
she
will.
will.
We will talk again soon.
I hope so.
And then I will also message Induriel. And I will let him know we have a large contained amount of darkfire. And we would like to zap back to deliver it to him. If he thinks that's a good idea.
And we
I
might
see.
potentially have some,
At least one new
at least,
companion.
yeah,
with
at
us.
least one new
Oh, no,
convert.
two new.
Potentially.
You're not new to them, so
Yeah, she's part of the Elder.
Yeah.
yeah. So just one new.
A potential new convert we need to confirm.
Yeah.
I see. Then yes, it would be urgent to get it to safety. Were you able to meet with Adressa? Was she able to convey to you the ring?
Yes.
Yes, we have it.
Then if you can, bring it to Lorthel.
Basically, we jump.
Okay. Yeah,
It's our port key.
that's our plan. We will have one. We would like to bring Enthris with us, which I'm sure you're aware of her, or at least Adressa is.
I am. She was, I believe Adressa approached her to join, but she refused. She changed her mind.
Well, we will have a talk with her about that before we go. She may not be 100% devoted, but she's definitely an ally. And that's why she's helped us out greatly in getting this darkfire. And
I see.
which is why we'd like to bring her with us.
Tell him about the monarchs. We're bringing them to his friend.
If I have been informed of your other two companions as well, some of which you and I have discussed. Anyone who is not a member must understand that if they come here and are not joined, that their memory must be modified to forget about me and certain other things when they leave.
Okay.
If they are willing to do so, then I would have them as a guest.
We will have those conversations before we journey to you. Which is why we wanted to make contact. We also have the rest of the monarchs.
Do you?
So we do. We have 21 of them.
We're bringing them to Alanya, right? That's it. She is part of because she was the friend of his.
Yeah.
So
She's the friend who wrote the letter to bring
Yeah.
you guys to Lyrandel in the first place.
yeah.
Yeah.
So we're saying we're meeting up with Alanya with them.
Yeah. And we're gonna have her take care of them.
I see. I do not know if she will be able to. She is transient. She's not able to stay in one place for terribly long. And I'll be honest with you, is not really positioned to be burdened with the care of vulnerable individuals. She has many enemies
But
who are actively seeking her.
But she also has many more friends in this area than we do. We don't have the network out here.
From my understanding, her main friend there was Idris.
And he is no more.
Who would you
He
say?
fell in battle, killing the king.
Are you able to get them to Carandia? You have a network there and a reputation that would allow you to...
Well, we were hoping to pop into your dimension, and I'm not quite sure how the exit works, but we were hoping that our exit would be in Grandia.
That could be arranged, but not how many individuals.
That's the problem. There's 21.
Yes, the ring will only transport 10.
Yes. So,
Do you have any contacts that could help us manage these people? They have a long journey ahead of them to either be taken care of as they are or a slow process to undo them.
well, this is outside of the message. I honestly think we should bring a few of them with us. I think the ones that have darkfire in them, we should take.
I don't want to rip Valen from his sister. She would have to come with us.
Why do you make everything so difficult?
Because you know that it's right.
But Valen's not Valen right now, and I think our best bet of getting him to return to Valen is there.
Then what do we tell her? She deserves to know. Otherwise, she's still wandering in the forest forever looking for her brother.
We can message her and go, hey, we found Valen. We're taking him to a safe place to get help. I don't really care what she thinks, to be honest with you. Do you know how many innocent people she's killed in this country? I get that it's Valen's sister, but it doesn't change that she's the Ruby Judge.
And now she's formally the Ruby Judge.
Either way.
Whatever.
I mean, there's no way. I mean, what do you want to do with Valen? You want to give him to his sister and let her figure it out?
No.
Like, don't want her friend back.
Whatever.
Because if we can take 10 people, we could take the ones that have darkfire, because those are the real concern. And then the rest of them, I mean, they're brainwashed, but they're not nearly as dangerous.
Interest says, and what of the girl, the blonde girl? You seem to think she was important, potentially.
That's the one.
The spidery one.
Yeah.
I think we should bring her.
I think she's coming too.
Yeah.
We got enough room.
Oh, that would be 11.
What's
There's
this?
6 of us.
Yeah.
There's the 3 monarchs and Valen, and then the girl.
Why do I only have 2 monarchs?
Rezulon,
There's 3.
Thorcold, Bunder, Valen. That's 4.
Oh,
The
Burger
girl.
has darkfire in him?
Bunder, yeah.
I didn't realize. I have his name down. I
He's
just didn't
full-blown.
realize he has darkfire in him.
No,
I thought
he's
he was
full-blown.
just that way.
Did Zanoa want to come? Because I remember before she said she didn't want to.
well, we need to have that conversation too.
Yeah.
Which we can't have right now.
Yeah.
So.
That was me above the table. Like,
Yeah, that's fine.
remember when we had that conversation?
Yeah,
If it comes to that, she'll come. Like, it would be assumed she comes.
yeah. I mean, we could just
I could
kill.
turn into a bug and then go into one of your bags.
Would that still count?
Will that work?
You have like a portable hole or a bag of holding.
We have a
I
box
could
of
crawl
preserving.
into it
Yeah, we have
and be a bug.
We have a box of preserving.
Yeah.
And as long as I'm not in there for very long. I'm just saying.
Because that was how she got into our whole
Brilliant.
into the whole system in the first place. That she basically snuck in as a bug.
If I'm in another plane, but I'm on your person.
If
Yeah,
not, I
your
say we
objects.
kill.
The chest preserving is not even, I don't think it's another plane. It's just like a box that lets you keep things as fresh as they the day you put them in. So it's, I just don't want to stay in there for very long. But
If not, I say we just kill Blunder because I'm tired of him stinking up the rug already. We just got that thing. And he's like, we're just carrying him around on it.
Could I do a check of some kind to see if I think I
thinking.
could?
I mean, you can put living objects inside of it for as long as they can hold their breath.
For as long as they can hold their breath. And if I'm a bug, there's more air.
I think the point is there's no air. So, like,
If I'm
It's
a
like a
bug,
base.
then I polymorph into. Then I'll pop back into my regular
yeah, it would
form
be
and
the
have more
stats
time.
of your bug.
Yeah.
So you'd have to.
Or I could do,
Pufferfish.
yeah, a creature that just can hold its breath for a really long time.
Yes.
Let's see.
Pufferfish.
Is that?
I don't know. They I would assume so. They suck in a lot of air.
That's not how that works.
I don't think that's how it works. But there are creatures that are part water and
It's not
part
air, it's
land, and they
water.
can go into the water. and
Frog. Frogs can hold their breath for a long time.
Don't frogs have an ability to use their skin to manage oxygen?
I know they
Put
don't
me in a
have,
bowl of water inside of it.
I know they don't have gills.
I mean, we got
Bills,
a bunch of holy water that's not holy water.
Listen, it's an
anymore, so-
instantaneous passing to
Yeah,
this dimension.
so I could hold
like,
my
as
breath
soon as
for-
our hands touch the.
It's a minute.
it's a minute to
yeah.
pass through.
Yeah.
My con is +2. So,
I mean, I'm
what's
all
the
for it just 'cause
worst? I pass out in there and hope that you get me out.
I want to see how epically it can backfire. Because it's
And then we kill our new
If there's no air
New
in
character.
the bag of holding, but what if you put air in the bag of holding?
Like a bag with
Well,
me
no,
inside
I'm
of it,
thinking like
like a little
kind
bag,
of,
like
but
a
I was
plastic
more-
bag that's sealed that has air already in it. And I'm inside of it.
Yes, but I was more thinking
So
like
that air.
if you turn into like a goldfish
Like a
and we put you in a bottle with water.
Yeah, that's that
put
as
the
well.
lid on
We
it.
now have vials of holy water that are regular water
regular
now.
water, yeah.
There's
Can
air
you be like
in
a
the water.
Can you
I
be like
can
a
be a little
sea
fish.
anemone or like one of those what is the little sea monkey things?
I think we're having the most cliche D&D.
I can be a little fish. That's
How to
easy.
gain
How
the bag
can
of
we,
holding.
exactly? How can we work the system to get what
Listen,
we want?
if it doesn't say you can't, then you can.
And you can.
The whole point of this game is to be creative and adaptive.
And I'm into this, like, especially the fish thing, because
Okay,
that solves
so
the problem.
scorpions
It does.
can hold their breath up to 6 days.
Oh my god.
I'm gonna be a scorpion. I don't even need air.
Facts.
Oh, I love this conversation.
Modified
Real
laws.
life facts in D&D.
Yeah, they hold their breath for that long.
No,
Yeah.
I'm into this. It's creative. Like, either way.
Would that work?
River otters can also hold their breath up to 8 minutes. Yeah, I could be a little
We're
scorpion.
gonna make you a little
We got
scorpion.
options.
Because I would just be like, you can be a tiny trap, which is Al Rockin for giant, like, man-eating scorpions.
Yeah,
Okay. But we're not there yet. We haven't even made it to camp yet.
Sure.
it's like so easy to do.
Putting
though.
options on the table. Yeah.
Okay.
appreciate that.
That's our Redcon while walking conversation.
Yeah, that's a walk and talk.
Right. Okay. Well, I think that's a good time to take a break.
Amazing.
Yeah, it's fantastic. I love
Oh gosh.
it. I love it. Okay. Yeah. So let's take about 10 minutes, and then we will come back and continue on.
Yep.
Bye.
Be right back. All right, welcome back. Hopefully you had a good break. So, getting back into it. So,
I would have, after the conversation with, what's his face, Araziah, I would have asked Zenoa to send a message to
Citrus.
to warn him.
okay. So you're messaging Citrus?
That's you, Boo.
I know. No, I can't do that.
So that's
No.
Zenoa.
I know, but you're telling her.
No,
to say-
I'm not. You are. You already made me. I know. I did it already. I had that conversation. It went poorly. Your turn. 25 words.
This is gonna make him hate you even more.
Exactly. It's
Because now it is a messenger's messenger that is sending the information about what you did.
We can send it. We can. Zenoa's distracted. When she's not distraction, I'll have her send.
No,
this.
we are sending it now.
Then you do that.
You are a coward.
I did it. I'm not.
You're a coward. Zenoa, can you send Citrus the following information? Hello, Citrus. It is your least favorite mortals. You have been marked by hags because of Stoic's broken promise.
You still have 7.
This is told through Asura because he is...
Okay, I just want to point out his spell is what is on,
Yes, but...
not mine.
Yeah, because...
I
but
did not put a hag's mark on him.
It's because
None of
you, no,
my
it's because-
decisions put a hag's mark on him.
Yes, it is because you wanted to break the curse on your foot.
Yes, agreed.
That was the promise you made to him. That's the problem.
I did break that promise, and I will own that.
Yeah.
I will not own that the hags are after him because of me. Because they're not.
It's fair. I mean, that's kind of fair. It's
It's an indirect. It's an indirect.
Because when you got your spell broken,
yeah.
right? Where'd you have it go?
Oh, I didn't have it go anywhere. I was underwater when he did it.
Right.
Yeah,
But it's
I
still
didn't
your
tell him.
spell.
Yeah, I didn't tell
that got
him.
attached to Citrus.
Yeah, Erzai made that decision himself.
Correct.
he probably
but yet
was trying
you
to get
both
it
are
off
still
of
saying it's my fault, and it's not.
Because you broke the promise with Citrus.
That's between me and Citrus. The hag part of it, I had nothing to do with.
I wait for Zenoa to give me the answer.
Okay. So, what I will do is, I'm going to narrate as if she was here. I'm going to narrate it from her perspective, and just that she relays everything to you. So, like, I can just kind of do it from his voice. So as Zenoa does this and she sends this message, she feels like this sudden like this tug in the magical connection as she connects with him. And she kind of frowns because she doesn't feel like for the moment like she can pull away. It's almost like the magic has been taken over momentarily. And like if you, in the course of listening, try to get her attention, like you see her frown and seem to be listening, but she'll just kind of like gesture you to shut up. What she experiences after she sends this message is him speaking replying without any seeming limitation that the spell is normally has. And he says, "Oh, it's you. Made a new friend, have you? Must be powerful to just break Fey bargain magic like that. You know, I guess I just didn't realize truly how disgusting you all are. I mean, I guess I was going to ask, because it's not like I didn't notice that a particularly ancient and powerful coven of hags have suddenly come under the impression that I am responsible for breaking a bargain with Sarek at precisely the exact same time that Stoic breaks another bargain with me. No, I'm sorry, not one bargain. Two? You know, from Sarek, I suppose. You know, I'd ask why, if there was some sort of satisfactory explanation as to why, in the midst of dealing with some of the worst mortals I've ever encountered in this 10th level of hell of a city, devils who have a growing resentment for me outsmarting them constantly, and a completely unskilled movement of people, I now have to try and protect myself from them. You know, and protect them from ancient beings who wish nothing but to see me and everyone I know suffer. If only they knew that they had such competition with you. I have to say, until that moment, and he's talking about they as in you guys, until that moment, I never knew how much they actually hated me. Zenoa, you and I have never truly been friends. You know, I might seem oblivious, and sometimes I am. I don't care about the same things, but one doesn't survive being an ambassador to the Fey courts and other leaders without being able to read someone. And despite all the help I provided you and your companions, you've looked down at me from the start. But Asura and Stoic, well, I thought they were. But the truth is, I'm a fool. When I guided them through the Phalite, I watched as they broke their words time and time again. And then when their consequences came for them, despite me even helping them in that fight, Stoic blamed me for it. I know you weren't there and you won't understand Fey values, so let me speak in terms, like in your terms, and sum things up in a way you might understand. I have helped and saved their lives a number of times, including your own, by the way. That priestess of Asmodeus would not have just settled for just Asura if she had found her. She would have wanted her companions as well. But all I've ever received in return is disdain, insults, disregard, and worse. Because over time you've gotten to know me, and you know the three things I value the most. One, my freedom. Something you didn't even consider when you manipulated me and guilt-tripped me into being shackled to this God's-forsaken hell of a city. My freedom is gone because I have to stay here and clean up your mess and take care of the steaming pile of feces you all left behind as you traipsed off to do whatever it is you're doing, which is the only thing that matters, right? Who cares if your actions brought on a lot of extra heat from the absolute worst sort, or if you positioned a group of former slaves with absolutely no skills or power to do incredibly dangerous work for incredibly dangerous people, as long as you get your way, right? Second, my sister, Storm. You all know about the curse that's on her. A curse that turns my sweet, gentle sister into a horrific monster that does things that she has nightmares about every single night. A curse that is the main reason I'm on this plane in the first place. But now I can't pursue breaking that curse very well, and both of us just have to live with that, and live with doing your bidding. And third, the importance of keeping your word. Look, doing things that cause disruptions, cause trouble, those things don't bother me. Heck, lying, deception, pranks, all of them, perfectly fine, even desirable. But if you agree to something, if you make a bargain, if you have a debt, it is truly despicable to not hold up your end of the deal. That is what a disgusting person does. Even the Queen of Summer, one of the most petty, sensitive, and vindictive creatures in the universe, would never break her word. Yes, I knew Stoic broke his promise to me again. Yeah, and who knows, maybe there are other Fey, promises you've broken in the process of this because you have no respect for it. Or my kind. Who knows what other consequences you squirmed your way out of instead of facing them. You tell him, I'm glad he got out of that arrangement he had with his devil. It really does fit him. In all my time in this place, I have dealt with some incredibly vicious, vile, and unimaginably evil fiends. And yet, no matter how often or how badly I get the best of these devils, every devil I've ever met honors their contracts. So you can look down at me all you like, but I've never broken an agreement. And I should have paid attention back in the Feylight. You are all liars who refuse to take responsibility for your word, and now I've learned the lesson that when someone shows you who they are, you should believe them. So don't worry. As far as you're concerned, everything's fine here. I will continue to do everything in my power to ensure it, because despite how many terrible things you do, I keep my promises. I hope you enjoy your new friend. I hope he's the type who has no problem walking all over people to get what he wants, and is the type of where the ends justify the means no matter what, because then you'll get along swimmingly. So move along. Go off and save the universe, or whatever it is that makes you feel so high and mighty. My last words to you are going to carry no magic, no curse, just words. If you succeed, if you win, whenever you feel like celebrating, whenever people are patting you on the back or calling you heroes or talking about how good and admirable you are, just know that there are two lowly Fey who know who you truly are. Don't contact me again. She feels the magic cut off.
That was a really bad breakup.
Was he wrong?
No, that's why it's really bad. That hurts. That hurts quite a bit.
I look at Empress. Why the fuck should we ever be in power?
I wish the world gave power to those who deserve it, but it doesn't. I certainly don't deserve it. But we all have to learn to deal with what we have. We have to face it.
Empress, can I pull you aside for a second?
Of course.
And I take a necklace off of me that I've been wearing for a while, since one of our hordes. I've been wearing this in the selfishness of thinking I deserved to live longer, to have more time, to be good, and do right by people. And it's a necklace that basically like elongates my life. It slows my aging process. I forget what it's called. But I don't think I deserve more time. If this is the harm I do. I started harming people when I was a child. And it never got better, apparently. And if anyone deserves to have someone stand by their side for a very long time, it is you. And I know that not all of your companions will be able to live forever the way you do. So maybe you can gift a companion of yours to some more time. That you can be together with them a little bit longer. It's not forever, but it is certainly more than what most of our mortal bodies can do. I don't deserve more time.
Who does?
Less selfish people than me.
I don't think anyone deserves it. I have yet to meet anyone who's truly no matter how good you try to be, you will never be perfect. That is one thing that Alanya helped me with, was understanding that I'll never be perfect. She gave me a chance to be able to pursue whatever good is in me, whatever tiny sliver of good was still in me when I was evil. And trust me, you don't understand the things I did when I was a full, true vampire. Intentionally, willfully. And I don't even get to sleep, so I have long hours to sit there and think about all that I've done. I can't even drink it away because the alcohol doesn't affect me. There's nothing left for me but to face it.
Then don't face it alone. And I put the necklace in her hand. If you ever have a companion who wants to wear it, give them that option. For yourself as much for them.
She takes your hand, but doesn't take the necklace, just holds your hand and says, take your own advice. You're not in this alone. You have a family here that cares for you and will help you figure this out. They will help you face, even if it was a mistake. They can help you own it.
I feel very untethered right now. My world has gotten very, very scary very fast. And I kind of don't trust my family right now. They all decided to make this agreement, and I didn't want to make it.
You were honest with your family, and you honestly heard them. And when they decided as a group, as you agreed to do, to go with the decision that the group made, that sounds awfully unselfish to me. That sounds like growth to me.
It doesn't feel like growth.
Well, in my experience, growth never feels good. It's just like no muscle was ever built painlessly.
Yeah.
But you are now being forced to exercise muscles in here and in here. And it hurts. But they're no different. They'll get stronger. You don't have to have the whole world figured out right away just because you took a step in the right direction. Just take the next step.
Why me? Why us?
Well, if I had that answer, I'd think I'd be a lot richer than I am.
And you're probably one of the richest people I know. The world is very big. And it keeps getting bigger. I thought the stronger we'd be, the more we'd understand. The less we'd folly our way through everything.
I thought so too. When my parents died and I became a governess at a very young age, still a teenager, I thought for sure someday someone would show up and tell me what to do. And then I thought, surely someone is going to realize that I shouldn't be in that position. Somebody is going to show up and realize what a fraud I am. But neither thing happened. The world is very, very big. So don't try to jump the whole world. Just take the next step. You can only do what you can.
Please take the necklace. I can't give you much. And you always talk about being alone. And you deserve to not be so alone.
We all have our own difficulties that we have to face. That one is one of mine.
Then I hope you don't get tired of me.
Well, I don't think that's possible.
You'd be surprised.
I mean, the one thing I agreed with that Fey about is that you are terribly interesting.
So are you.
Well, I've worked very hard to be.
Yeah. I think I need a hug.
Of course. She does hug you. You know, her skin not being as warm as a normal humans, but and maybe even more so against your kind of a little bit hotter nature, and but still heartfelt.
I think I need to start that too. If he'll let me.
Sounds like a good idea.
And I just like go find you, and you just see me like big ugly tears.
I will give you a hug.
like a whole body weight like basically goes into it, and just is like big ugly tears in your like chest.
I'd probably fall over. I'm not very strong.
I think I'm stronger than you.
You are by a lot.
Plus, I've been working out regularly.
Which is funny because like I'm a pretty big dude.
Yeah,
Just lean.
Yeah.
I'm only like what 5'5", 5'6".
Yeah, I'm tall and like pretty
Yeah.
bulky and just have no muscle. it's like air muscles.
Yeah, and I'm just like big ugly crying on you.
That's okay. We'll be fine.
Say it one more time.
We will be fine. We keep following through everything, but surprisingly, things do keep working out for more than just ourselves. We've made a lot of mistakes, and we'll continue to. But overall, there are many people in many places that are far better off because we came through. So don't focus and beat yourself up on just the downsides.
They're pretty big downsides.
Yeah, but so are the good ones. How many slaves are free in El Raqqa right now because of us? How many people are alive in Karandia because of us? How many people in this country are now going to be able to, I don't know, not get eaten by a vampire and not get brainwashed and sent through behavioral camps? We have done good. It's just the good we've been doing is so spread out that it's hard to see. But it's there.
We are the worst for each other when it comes to accountability.
What's that?
You know that.
I do.
We
But-
can't do that anymore.
I know.
We've caused so much harm to so many people who don't deserve it. He did not deserve
No.
it.
I agree with you. I'm not arguing. We did him pretty dirty. I'm just trying to think who else.
The great furred one, those bees.
Other than Fey people.
Other than an entire race.
Yeah, other than the time. Yeah, that was. You make it sound. That
A little
doesn't
bit
sound.
racist.
I know. I'm like, I didn't want to say it. I'm like,
We betrayed a man who died to finish his dream of overthrowing a ruler by not holding up our end of the bargain. We did not get rid of the wizard. He died, trusting us to do as we promised.
well, he is gone, and contractually cannot come back to this country.
I'm not letting you slide on that anymore.
I know. But is the result not the same?
No. Because someone else can get dirt now. He just gets to relocate and try something new.
Well, in 6 months, we'll just have to make sure that doesn't happen.
And I know that the Fae don't trust you. But I am trusting you with this. If we ever get the chance to break those curses on him, and I get the chance to release him from the binding I did to that shithole of a city, we honor it and we do it.
I can promise you that, because we owe him pretty good.
We owe him our lives 5 times over. Fair or no.
No, I agree with you.
And we have 21 people in our care right now who cannot take care of themselves. And we will not leave them without a plan. We will not leave them without a plan. We are not abandoning people anymore.
If it means that much to you, but I'll be honest with you, the only reason why I even suggested that we take him was just so he didn't have him.
I know, and that's the worst decision you made. You said you can't have them, but we don't want them either.
Yeah, I know.
These are human lives. These aren't toys or objects.
I just wanted to remove the danger.
I know. I understand why you made that decision. But you made it just so he could not have it.
I still think no matter where they are, they'll be in a better place than with him.
No. There are worse things than being cared for by a tyrant.
Surprised to hear that from you.
Why?
Because every story you ever tell us, I mean, seriously, you constantly tell us about what you went through as a kid and how terrible that was. But you're saying that me putting them in that same situation is better than getting them away from abuse like that?
That's not the same situation.
How?
Because they can't make decisions for themselves.
They used to. That was taken away from them.
Correct.
So then how is it different? So because you had a choice to be a killer or not?
Because I could take care of myself. I'm not arguing with you and I'm not fighting with you. And I understand why you made the decision. I am holding you accountable to the decision, as I expect you to hold me accountable to mine. Because we aren't playing this dancing game anymore. Not if we are being thrust into leadership.
Been in leadership.
I know. And I've been delusionally avoiding it. And I don't like being this person. I want to go back to just imagining a world in which I get kisses from people that I think are cute, and I am never responsible for any action I take. Because someone else will come behind me and clean it.
We'll figure it out.
I'm not letting you slide. You have been literally touched by an angel. Please hold yourself to account for it.
I'll try. But I can tell you right now, I will do my damnedest. But at the same time, it's complicated.
Everything always is.
I know.
But hold stalwart in decisions you make.
That's
and own them when you do, as I will have to own mine.
I get that.
I love you. You know this, yes.
Yeah, I know.
But I will not love you into ruin. Not again. I'm gonna go and get ready to start watching all that other stuff.
Are you guys doing anything in particular at this point?
I think Abuelita has gone through the ritual every night of making dinner, and I think while that's all happening, she goes up to you and she goes, "Do you want to help me with dinner?"
Yeah, sure.
Sometimes when your mind is loud, it helps to do dedicated tasks.
Yeah, that'll be fine. What do you need help with?
Well, first we're going to chop all of these things here. I've set them out. They're all clean and peeled already. So if you want to start chopping them into cube-sized pieces.
Okay, sure. Start.
And I think she lets that go on for a little bit, mostly just instructing you as much as she can. She has to run around you a lot because she's really small and look up on the table and be like, "Oh, those are too big. They won't fit in my mouth. It's smaller pieces." But at some point, I think she just is looking around the group of people, and she looks at you and she says, "There's a lot of people in this area. All of these people here are having a lot of problems with their memories and reality and very loud brains. And I feel like you have that too. I'm not really sure what happened to you, but you've been very quiet since everything happened. Are you alright?"
No, not at all. I had what I knew and what I had not known, and then what I remembered, and all that just kind of shoved into my head all at one time. And I don't know what to make of any of it. I don't know who I am. I don't know. And I don't know what to do next. I don't know what I want or what I want to do. I don't know anything right now. Other than it's just confusing.
That sounds like a lot.
I don't like it. And they just met me, but I'm really good at just setting stuff aside. I'll deal with that later, and then never actually dealing with it. And this is so loud that I can't just move it over and not deal with it later. It's like I have to deal with it now, and I don't even know where to start with that.
Have you tried journaling?
Every night for the past couple months. I don't know however long we've been since the ocean.
Has there been anything that you remembered now that was a surprise in a good way?
Not really.
No one that you loved, or a thing that you did that you were like, "Oh, I remember the night sky and how beautiful it was."
More of, I remember now talking to who the time I thought was a stranger was actually my brother, finding out that I hurt him, and then him running off and doing gods know what, telling gods know who that I abandoned my responsibility and my duties and things that I had sworn to, and I don't know what to even begin to do with that.
How long has it been?
Few days. How long?
Since you
at this point-
lost your memory, how long have you abandoned,
Got it. I thought
quote
you said
unquote,
the brother.
those?
Man, it's been a few months, right? Since the tag deal.
It's like 6 months now.
But a couple months.
Okay, a couple months.
2, 3, something like that.
Feels like so much longer than that,
Yeah.
but nature of D&D. It's been a couple months.
Do you mind me asking what it was you were supposed to be doing? With him, that your brother thought you abandoned him? What were you supposed to be doing with him?
Well, we came up here to look for portals. I had actually forgotten about that. Yeah, we were doing that for back home, and then we got kind of caught up in the rebellion, and for better or for worse, I'm not one to run from a fight. So we stayed on and fought together side by side for a little while. Yeah.
And then?
And then I made a deal with a hag and forgot everything, and
Why did you make the deal?
because,
You were so excited about the portals and finding the fights, and
because
what made it worth it?
we had done something stupid. Surprisingly, you'll find out that happens a lot, and I did what I always do, and even my brother. I tried to take the arrow for everyone and try to save everyone. We were out in the middle of the ocean. Our boat had just sunk. No prospects of getting out. I think a storm was coming at the time, and we had just talked to a hag like a few hours before. I'm like, that seems like the way out. I can make a deal. I can figure a way out of this. Naively, I had no idea what I was making a deal, who I was making a deal with, and what I'd be giving up. Not actually. Maybe I did. Maybe I just wanted to feel important. Like I had some agency in the situation. Yeah. But at the time, that felt a little bit more important than, I don't know, anything else. Because we had a crew full of people that were going to die out there. It was because of us.
But they didn't die, right?
No, they did not. They got the ship back. As far as I know, they're still...
Your brother's safe?
As far as I know.
It doesn't seem that bad. You still saved people. That's a big thing.
Mm-hmm.
You saved a lot of people.
Yeah, and
if he's still alive, then you can still make up. And we can look for portals along the journey of doing other things. And still get the information to the people that need it.
And I'm going to have to make up with him at some point. I got so much to apologize for that I didn't even know I needed to apologize for. I want that opportunity.
And a willingness to apologize is a big thing to do. It's hard to apologize.
Yeah, admitting you're not perfect is kind of not fun. Yeah.
No, it sucks. Or that you're not strong enough to take on a thing.
Mm-hmm.
We've had 2 days. I've only been with you for a couple of days, and we've already encountered 2 people that I was like, well, I feel small. And I am small. You are also cutting those carrots too small. They're shredded now.
Too small now? Oh, I mean, I'm trying to follow you.
Yeah,
like,
they're
before
too
they were
small.
Too big?
Let's move on to the next.
Okay.
I'll start collecting them and put them in the frying pan. It's okay. We'll make a stew instead. That's alright.
Thank goodness. I don't think I could have dealt with having too small carrot cuts. Like, just shredded carrots is the worst.
It just changes the flavor profile.
Absolutely.
Each bite.
Yep. I don't know anything about cooking. You
You're
may have
doing
figured
great.
that out.
You're doing great.
I have only recently figured out like a little bit of like baking,
Hmm.
but that's the extent of my culinary skills.
To be fair, baking is more of like a strict science. You have to do everything. You have to let your loaves sit just right and the temperature just right, and they can only bake for so long before they become one way or the other. It's very impressive.
Do you have things they actually have, like, stuff to bake with, ingredients to bake with?
I don't have baking stuff because it's kind of hard to bake when you don't have an oven and traveling. I'm too small to carry an oven.
Mm-hmm.
But I can look into that. Maybe if we come across like a magic shop, they'll have like a pop-out oven of some kind that you can have a glyph, and then it pops out. Then we can bake.
That'd be pretty awesome.
A tattoo that generates an oven once a day.
Oh, why not? Hey.
Easy bake
It's our watch back.
tattoo.
Ooh, shredded carrots.
Ooh, Easy Bake Ink.
Baking. Yeah. It's magic is
wow.
amazing.
Yeah,
And you
absolutely.
can do a lot of stuff.
I would like the easy bake spell.
I'm gonna get it. We're gonna homebrew it.
Can go a couple of ways depending on what you're talking about with that, but yeah.
So do you think that means you need to go after him now, or do you think what we are doing as a group is...
I mean, I will say this, I'm going to make sure that these people that are with us get
help?
to safety and get help, yeah. That's outside of dealing with my own stuff in here, that's something I want to make sure happens.
You see that guy over there? You help save him. See that girl over there? You help save her. She doesn't know it yet.
You have a really bubbly personality, and that is
I know,
awesome.
sorry.
Something we've missed. No, that is something we have missed in this group. We're all serious
Yeah, and a little
dour.
angry.
and angry.
But I get it. Life
And
is
emo.
hard, and challenges are hard, and feeling apparently betrayed. I've already heard anger from some Fey people. That's very confusing. But
Yeah, not so much once you know a little bit of the situation. I don't know everything, but
yeah. I'm just saying. I know you got a lot going on in your head, and you got to figure it out. But don't forget to give yourself credit for all of the good things you're doing too. You said you didn't remember anything good. Well, you saved a bunch of people who were about to drown. Your brother's still alive.
yeah.
You get to go apologize to him because you tried to do something, whether or not you feel like it all worked out. You tried to make a decision for other people, and that is pretty cool. That's more selfless than most people are. It's like
Thank you.
saving a bunch of little bugs that are about to drown after a big rainstorm. You pull them up and you put them on high ground.
Sounds like that's something you've done before.
Yeah. The big guy was talking about us being bugs. I was like, I love bugs though. So, not all bugs. Some bugs are mean. Some of them have attitudes. But that's
Do you talk to bugs?
sometimes.
I guess. Do bugs talk back to you? That's
Less often. Yeah.
okay.
But nature's fascinating to me, so.
I think you're gonna be good for this group.
I hope so.
Yeah, you plan on sticking around for a little while?
I'm here as long as I think you guys need me. We're here to save the world. We've already got darkfire. That was one big thing, even though I really hated that guy.
Yeah, he's a jerk.
He was really mean. And he was talking... I don't remember things that well. Maybe it's because I'm getting older. Maybe sometimes my hearing is going. And sometimes I don't pay attention long enough because that's who I am. But I think we're doing good things based on just the couple days that I was here. You guys seem pretty great, and you seem to be kicking yourselves while you're down, and that's not fair. Don't kick a lying dog or something like that. Sleeping dog? A broken dog? Maybe it's a candle wax. I don't actually remember what this.
Yeah, it might be
Something
a dead
about
horse. I don't know. There's-
Maybe, yeah.
Don't
It's
rock my
something,
spots,
but you
yeah.
don't kick it. That's all you need to know. okay, we're gonna pull it all over here. And then she continues to instruct you on the cooking and
What are we making? again?
humming. We're making a stew.
Okay.
Grandmother's stew. It's made with love.
Smells delicious.
It might be a little spicy.
I mean, and if we need to, we can not over the stove. He's got like a special spice pouch thing that we can just pull different
Ooh.
seasonings from. Yep.
I immediately run over there.
Okay.
You see her scurry off, and you turn back to your task, and you hear from the other side, "It's good to remember things. Do you remember things?" And you look, and you see that, unnoticed, you see this white-haired girl has appeared beside you and is just kind of staring off into nowhere.
I've recently remembered a lot of things. Are you remembering things?
I don't remember things. Should I remember things?
I think so.
I don't remember things.
Maybe we can help you with that. Do you?
It's good to help people.
It is.
Helping people is good.
Do you want to help people?
Well, who doesn't want to help people?
There's a lot of people out there
Helping
who aren't.
people is good.
Yep.
Of all the people.
Yeah, I know, right? Yeah, nothing at all. Like no name. Just what's the first thing you remember?
I don't remember things.
Seriously, that's probably why she's repeating herself, because she's goldfish. Got it. Yeah. Well, let's see what we can do to fix that.
It's good to fix things.
You
A
know,
lot of things need to be fixed.
do you know of anything specific that might need to be fixed?
The world. It's on fire.
Oh, good, that look. Where does the fire come from?
I don't remember things. I don't remember. But it's all fire.
Do you know how to stop the fire?
We should work to stop bad things. It's good to help people. You return to hear this conversation.
Yeah, I've come to you and I've like grabbed your hand and hurriedly grabbed. I'm like, get your bag, and you're holding your bag, and she comes over and pulls you over to the pot of stew, and then she keeps holding up a spoon on her tippy toes to your mouth to be like, taste it, throw a different spice in, then taste it.
I can only pull out a couple different spices. It's not infinite. So we need to choose carefully. Three spices I can help you out with.
Cayenne.
Do my little wishy thing and give you cayenne to put in there.
Jalapenos.
Oh shit.
Okay. So you hear you guys do this, but you hear this conversation happen,
Okay.
or at least the tail end, and it just kind of goes in circles.
Yep.
We're not able to get much meaningful information out of her. Like she
Yeah.
just is like that, pretty much. Always, but still seems to like stay close to you guys weirdly.
Yeah, and when she's talking, it like behind her eyes, does it look like there's anything like actually going on back there? Or is it kind of a blank look? And because the
Roll
reason
insight check.
and the reason I ask is that when she was like, "The world's on fire," she looked intentionally. I'm like, did I see something in there that's like, a spark of memory or something.
I can tell you right now, there's no way that conversation would have happened and Cody would not have done detect thoughts to get surface level.
No,
She did. She
would
did
not.
detect thoughts before.
Oh, she
And she
couldn't.
Because then
nearly
remember when
lost
she got
herself
women
in-
lost
Oh,
her.
never
Yeah.
mind then. Never mind.
But she might be doing an insight as well to see if it is like
You
a.
said insight?
Insight.
Insight. Okay. Natural 1.
Okay. You have no idea. It's just creepy when
Yep.
she does it.
Well,
Like there's
insight
something disturbing about the way she changes suddenly and looks at you directly. That's the only time she looks at anybody.
Uh-huh.
Is when she makes the rare comment about everything being on fire. I would say you're reminded that when Zenoa described what it was like trying to read her mind, that it did remind you something about your dream that you had.
My dream about the fire. Does it feel important right now with what she's talking about?
That's up to you.
Really excited about making something spicy enough that people will remember. I think I note that, and I kind of feel like it's important, but the episode is about denial, so I think I know that's maybe something, and instead I focus on, I'm like, that was important, but spicy things.
No, how would Evelina process that? Would she say anything, or like what would she? Just file it away for later.
Yeah, I think you see her pause, and she looks at her, and she looks at Zenoa, and you see her think about, like, start to go into a memory, and then choose to, like, take a left turn and grab the spice, and be excited about the spice in this moment, be excited about making a thing, and not having to focus on sort of the reason why she's even here, I feel like. Because she doesn't want to be serious right now. She wants to be a bomb in a really spicy way. So I think you see that in her, and then continue to get excited about these spices that are going to make this stew extra spicy. So hopefully this girl, if you're like, do you have a memory? I ate something really spicy. I think that's where she's at.
Okay. I'll tell you what. Roll make it a deception check.
Yeah. I'm not good at that. 9.
Okay. With all of y'all's passive insights, I'd say you all kind of notice this pause and then hurried picking back up. With whatever you choose to do.
I just clock it because I know that well.
I've been watching the whole thing, but he's not. Stowe's kind of keeping quiet.
I give Zenoa a knowing look. I just give her a knowing look about what just happened.
You know what we can do with shredded carrots? We could make a cake. Carrot cake.
Can you do that with just the
No,
carrots?
but that's what the first thing we're gonna do when I get the glyph of pop-up oven.
That is my favorite cake.
That's your favorite cake. Let's go. I knew it.
Yeah, I'm up for it.
I read you pretty well.
She goes back for another handful of shredded carrots before it comes in the... It's the texture. I just really love the texture.
See? I told you. It's different.
Yep. I'm glad. They're so usable. That's good.
But
Just so you know, there's not many of us in our party who can handle this amount of spice.
well, everyone's gonna eat it. Because you're gonna remember it. It's gonna be good. It'll clear out your sinuses, give you that boost of like, It's gonna be good. We'll water it down. Okay.
It's just heartburn for the room.
I'll do a greater restoration on you to get rid of it.
That is the appropriate use of any restoration spell. Oh man.
That's an indigestion.
Yeah.
Let me heal that for you.
And you're good.
It's just the Pepto. I cast Pepto.
But yeah.
Peptodigitation.
That was so dumb.
Yeah.
I love that, actually. Yeah.
No, it cleans a 1 by 1 foot square, man. Why can't it be 1 foot on the inside?
Yeah.
Write that out.
Yeah.
I'm gonna sit next to Valen because I haven't actually like sat close to him. And I'm just gonna talk to him, like, about things that I've done. And I'm gonna tell him that I met his sister. And I wish he had told us that the woman, the Ruby Judge, was his sister.
I wish I had known.
She's been through a lot. So have you.
Well, maybe I hope to see her again if I can get through this.
I wish I could convince you that I am real and am sitting next to you right now.
I wish you were.
I just scoop my tail and I wrap it around his ankle like I used to.
You just kind of... He doesn't react, but you see him like swallow.
Do I get a sense that it was bad or good?
It's pain.
I thought about you every day while you were away.
Well, me too. I think that's why I keep seeing you.
I figured when I saw you again that either would have confirmed that you in fact had left because you had betrayed us, and I was going to kill you on sight, or I was going to find out that you had left for noble reasons, and I was going to give you the biggest hug I could. I did not expect this. And I think it hurts. Because I can't even comfort you.
Well, maybe it'll feel better when we do meet.
I know I can order you to do anything. And I am sorry for this. For the next 5 minutes, pretend I am really here, and this is real life, and I am beside you. Just pretend.
I already do.
And I kind of like nudge him to put his head in my lap. I just kind of like pet what used to be his hair, and now it's just his bald head.
The scars.
Yeah.
Yep. I'll find you eventually.
So will I. I was gonna tell him about Bear and Easy, but then I choose not to.
Okay.
Did we ever get a name for the little girl?
Is it in our dossier?
No.
She's just unknown.
Even the notes you read about her.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
That's right. That she
No
just
name.
never. They never got a name out of her.
And she even asked you for a name, but
Yep.
you were kind of focused on moving on. So.
Well, I'd like to go ask her her name.
We tried earlier, but she couldn't remember.
I know. I'm gonna ask her again.
Okay.
It's like, so,
Guidance.
do you have a name?
I don't remember my name.
Well, you need to
Names
be-
are nice. I should have a name.
Would you like one?
A name would be nice. Do you have one?
I do. Mine's Stoic.
That's a nice name.
I think so too.
I hope I have a nice name.
Well, let's see. I really like your hair. It's very white and silky. Could we call you Silky?
I like silk.
Yeah,
Silk is nice.
it is. Do you think it would make a nice name?
People should have names.
They should. So how about we make yours Silky?
Stoic.
Yes. Good. Hey guys, this is Silky.
It's very cute.
Can you say hi, Silky?
It's good to greet people. It's very polite.
That was a good try. I like that. Gotta call her something. She liked it, but I don't know if she'll remember it because I'm getting tired of saying that girl.
I don't remember things.
We'll see if we can help you with that.
And Interest kind of whispers, we should get moving.
Mm-hmm.
So, you guys progress, and you find your way to, a farmstead, a sizable tract of land, and make your way to it. And you're a little bit surprised to find that the farmstead is apparently occupied. Like, it doesn't seem to be abandoned like the first one that you had seen before. And you're surprised to encounter the farmer while you're progressing through the land, but he informs you that he's been notified you were coming and directs you to one of the farmhouse that's there. And you make your way in and find your between the farmhouse and the barn. You see that the group of injured people that you had helped are like all kind of set up in throughout this farmstead. You see Talon walk up and hug Zenoa. And as you kind of explain the situation to people there, they kind of think about it and start designating, like kind of moving some people around to designate a part of the barn for this group. Then eventually you find Alanya outside, just kind of looking off into the distance. And you approach her.
Mm-hmm.
You made it out of the city.
We did. With more people than we started.
And so it would seem.
We spoke with, what's his name, Arizaya? No, not Arizaya.
No, Arizaya was a bad guy.
yeah.
Adriel.
Adriel. We spoke with our mutual friend in the pocket dimension about these individuals. And I know that you are not one to be able to permanently take care of a group of wayward individuals with a long journey ahead of them.
Indeed. I fear I must depart after this.
We're not entirely sure for whom we should... where we should place these people. We are not equipped for the process that they are going to have to go through. I mean, there's a lot of unknowns in that process.
Indeed.
But we do know that there is a de-brainwashing system that was put in place for the people that are here, that were brainwashed from the classic system. I don't know if it transfers, but I wonder if there are similar places to help them start the process of healing their minds.
I do not know. I am no healer. Hospitalization is not my purview, nor my purpose. Which, by the way, this would be the first time you've encountered Alanya. You encounter a woman of middling age. It's kind of ambiguous, maybe 40s, maybe as high as 50s, you're not sure. But still beautiful in her own way. And she's got silver eyes, and she wears a very simple gray dress with a leather belt around the waist with one kind of long leather, well, it looks like it's holding something kind of long and thin with like a button, like a latch on the top.
Okay.
And nothing else. No bags, no pouches on her belt or anything else. But you barely notice because when you get close to her, she has a presence that is both powerful and hard to describe. You feel suddenly like immensely self-conscious. And not self-conscious necessarily in a bad way, but just hyper aware of how you're standing and how you're dressed and how you look and how you feel and things you were thinking about saying or not saying, and was not doing anything the right thing, or was doing something the right thing, or like there's just a hyper awareness of everything you were thinking and feeling and doing.
Do I feel like it's an aura? Like, do I
It
feel
definitely
like
gets powerful as you get closer.
Okay, so I could like step farther back and be.
You could, but probably not within reasonable earshot. It is.
That's fair.
It is a palpable presence, like something you'd never encountered before, and it's profound.
Okay.
I apologize, my dear. This is not the way I am equipped to help.
Never hurts to ask, I guess.
Of course.
We're more hoping that you might be able to point us in a better direction of who you think might be able to, because we're still very new to this country, and honestly, we don't even know where we are right now.
And most of our connections are now scattered to the wind.
What is the nature of what happened to them?
Brainwashing.
I submit like the documentation that I was given, where it like talks through like each of their particular stuff. And kind of add like notation of like especially what we were observing when they were like muttering to themselves and things like that.
Okay. You know, she looks over them a bit, some of the notes or whatever. Well, you didn't actually get the notes on each of them. Just you can relay what you read.
Yeah, from the plackets and everything.
Remember what you read. I think there's a moment where Inthrys kind of catches her eye, and there's like a look kind of exchanged between them, and Alanya turns and says, "Let me speak to the ones who have completed this process."
Okay. Do you want me to bring them to you?
One at a time.
Who would you like to see first?
It was your...
Let's let Valen go first.
I go back to where they've been sitting and I say, Valen, come with me.
He gets up and follows.
I hold his hand as I walk him. This is Valen Wren.
If you would leave us.
Oh, yes. And I kind of like don't hesitate to like let go of his hand. And I just kind of give it a squeeze and listen to answer any questions that she has. She is a friend of ours. Just politeness and courtesy, please.
All right.
Be honest with her, with everything.
All right.
Okay. And I just kind of like walk away.
So, you guys, you know, make your way a good distance away. You can stay within eyesight if you want, and just
I'm not. He's not leaving my eyesight.
yeah. And so you just kind of watch, and you see them converse for a few minutes. And it's quiet. You don't hear anything. You know, but then, you know, then she finally nods, and Valen turns and comes back towards you and says, she requests that I fetch the next one.
Okay.
And so he does. And one by one, she spends a few minutes talking to all four of these individuals. And after spending a few minutes with each and then sending him back inside, then she beckons you guys to come back to her. And gestures for Valen to stay back. So as you guys come talk to her, she says, he is not merely brainwashed, he is something else. He is broken and taken by strange magic. And something else that feels somehow familiar and terrible. Perhaps this darkfire you speak of. I cannot explain it. He is trapped in never-ending illusion. He believes that everything he does, everything he is told to do, is to reunite him with you and find the Emerald Dragon. He is also saying something about his sister. He is not in his right mind. is possible I can help to a point. This is something beyond mental manipulation. This is something beyond healing. Their natures have been changed. It is possible that I can help in the way that I helped with Indris. But he and they are not in their right mind. So it must fall to you to decide. I can attempt to redeem him, but know this, it is not guaranteed to work. It is a process that interferes with everything that makes up their being. And if it does work, some things cannot be undone, and everything has a cost. And so the decision must fall to you.
We had originally thought of bringing the completed monarchs, the ones with the fire inside of them, to our friend in the pocket dimension. Would that be a better or worse decision for them, but also for our friends who live there? Would that be safe for them?
One such of these would be powerful tools indeed for the Eldrin. But he would never know peace. He would never know healing. He will remain in this loop for the rest of his life until something kills him or he dies.
I think if we do it at all, we should only do it for Valen. We don't know the others or who they were before him. We could be releasing a worse monster. We know who Valen was before this happened.
If this process relies on some sliver of good still remaining in them, normally if in my discussions, if that is not found to be true, then they would not submit to such a process. But in this case, they do not have their own will, which is why the decision falls to you. But if they submit to the process and there is not some sliver of good for this to take hold, they will be destroyed.
We know there's a lot of good in Valen. Can't speak for the others.
We need to call his sister. We need to. If this doesn't work and he is destroyed, she doesn't get to say goodbye to him. And that is cruel.
Who is his sister?
You're not going to like the answer. The Ruby Judge.
I see.
We ran into her recently and she's had a bit of a crisis of faith, if you understand my meaning. Last she was on her way to go see, what's-his-face's house, well, what's left of it, to prove we weren't lying to her when we said that he was a vampire.
Tildwin.
Tildwin.
There it is.
And where is she?
Last I know that she was heading that direction. And I understand that she has a lot to account for. I am not saying that she doesn't need to face the consequences. At the time, we could not fight her. We were too weakened, and we had all of those injured people with us. It was not a good risk. It was not a good calculation, but it was the best we could do to keep everyone alive. But we've shaken her resolve.
It is impossible to predict what the fruit of such a crisis of faith might yield.
I understand.
It may be good, it may be further evil, may be redirected, or it could simply break her and leave a very dangerous individual with little left of sanity.
So I
And
curse
you
her.
wish to bring her here. Whatever she is a woman of wrath. And so if she decides that what was done here is evil, what will she do to come and find Ariziah's tools?
I am tired of cursing people. To live the rest of her life trying to find her brother.
Let me be more practical. I would leave tonight. My presence here brings more danger than just the Ruby Judge.
I understand. Do we
If it is your heart, you can, if you decide to, perhaps you can reach out to her or find her in a more strategic circumstance.
in the future, you mean?
When it is wise.
Do you agree with that?
I want you to do whatever you feel comfortable with.
I believe we should all make this decision.
I don't want to make a decision I'm not willing to accept accountability for. I think you should make the decision. And then I'll tell you if I agree with it or not. But
We go ahead and try to save Valen. We don't tell her. And either if sometime in the future she's informed that her brother is gone, or that her brother was saved, or we never say anything and she is doomed to walk the world in search of her brother.
that was kind of my suggestion in the beginning.
I understand that. That's why I wanted to confirm with you.
Yeah, it's the right decision.
What about you?
I don't know her or him. I think that a sibling should know what's going on with their sibling, and if she's, I don't know the whole situation. I don't know what's fair, because I'm gonna be like, well, it's his sister.
Mm-hmm.
She should know. Also, if she goes after people, there's no saying that she won't figure out what happened and be mad at you for not telling her or giving her the option.
I'm aware. But that puts her wrath on us and not on this country anymore. Are you willing? I'm willing to walk with her wrath.
Oh yeah. Hands down.
She can fuck us up bad.
I have no problem pissing people off.
Clearly.
Like,
That's a trait I know about you.
We will try with valor.
I think we save all of them.
I don't.
But what happens to the remainder of them? Right now, they are the only protection.
Whose protection?
They are protecting the rest of the party. They are the keepers of the other ones,
Yes.
because I have asked them to do that.
Yes.
To clarify this process, if there is no
Good left in them,
sliver
it
of
destroys
good,
them, right?
they are destroyed.
I mean, I don't know about you, but I would rather be destroyed than live in hell.
Yeah, that's my thinking
I just
too.
don't know about
Are
the
they
rest of
all
them.
in the imagery, the illusionary state, or
Yeah, they're all kind of living that
they're all in
perpetual,
that,
like,
or just
this is my
him?
desire, and
They are all trapped in their own desires never to be fulfilled.
mhm.
Oh,
This is
Yep.
only for the ones who have the monarchs.
Yes.
What we don't know what to do with the rest of them.
The others are not.
Irrevocably
What
broken.
I can do is not. It's not the same.
It's not going to fix them mentally.
It is. What I do is addressing the nature of something.
and can you do it the 3 full times?
It is akin to open heart surgery for a surface level splinter. To attempt it for something beyond something as serious as this, or vampirism, or other such natures that could not be overcome otherwise.
If you
What
so
did you ask?
Oh, I was just wondering if you could do it that many times. You can do it as many times as needed, or does it take a lot of time? Just
I can
curious about-
attempt for each of them.
Okay, just making sure.
if it succeeds, in what state will they be?
It's impossible to know for certain. But if it succeeds, they will no longer be enslaved. What they do from there will be their choice.
I
So-
vote for that.
Correct me if I'm wrong. If it does succeed, they're still going to be broken. They will just now have the ability to work on being healed mentally.
They have a choice.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because right now we can't help them even if they want us to. My concern
Some
is,
things cannot be undone, and everything has a cost.
so Valen, I'm willing to deal with. If he comes out successful, I'm willing to stay with him and work with him and help him heal for however long it takes. These other people, I'm not.
That's the thing, though. We wouldn't be able to stay and take care of him.
I will.
And forego the rest of everything we are working on.
If that's what it takes. You said you wanted accountability.
Why do you always act like I'm trying to pressure you into something?
I'm not. I'm just telling you. This is what accountability looks like. Like the moment you said that to me, I was like, and you wanted me to promise you that we wouldn't leave these 21 people here. I know we have a mission, and I know it's important, and it's more important than these 21 people. Which is why I don't really care what happens to them. And I know that you don't like hearing that, and that doesn't have accountability, but I don't. Valen I care about. I don't care if I have to strap him to my back and carry him with us for the rest of this, whatever it is we're doing, I'll do it. But just for him. He's family. For those other people, I don't care. I don't even think we should free
the two that are dangerous, because we don't know what they're going to be like, and I'm not willing to deal with the consequences. Right now, they obey orders, and I know that it's messed up, and it doesn't feel right to leave them in that state, but they're manageable and they're controllable. We can bring them to the pocket dimension. He can use them to try to extract the darkfire. He could use them as soldiers. I mean, I'm sure Hadressa would love to get her hands on those two guys. They could be helpful in many ways. But if we put them through the same process as Valen and they come out uncontrollable or broken, that's on us to clean up. And I'm not willing to do it.
This feels so gross.
I get it, but like, that's where my mind is at when I'm thinking and making these decisions. I'm not just trying to make huge gestures and leave the mess behind. I usually think about the mess before I make it and decide honestly if I care. And I don't care enough about these people, these 21 people, to sacrifice what we've been doing. I just wanted to be fully upfront with where my head's at and how I think about these things.
Why don't we just start with Valen?
Agreed.
And then see how that goes.
I agree with that. I don't know that I agree with the other stuff. Is there anyone that in all my time of traveling, is there like anyone specifically, like druids who are good at taking care of people, or because Abuelita's still worried about these 21 people, that whether or not you care about them, I'm going to make sure we find somewhere to, and if
That's
this lady
fair.
can't, because I was under the impression either she's going with these people or your pocket dimension, and if that's not the case, then I got to find somewhere else
Yeah,
for us
that's
to put
not
them.
the case for either of them. I was hoping we could just go to an inn, we have tons of platinum, and be like, they get to live here now.
They get to live here now. Yeah.
Like, here is more money than you will ever make.
Uh-huh.
They live here now. Feed them soup.
You have heard of, I mean, there are druids who are pretty powerful in the Everwood. There are powerful druids in Gaius, but you would know that's a pretty bad idea, because they are they're like green paste terrorists. Like, they are just violent, savage to outsiders. Like,
Yeah.
yeah, literally. Like,
Yeah. Oh yeah.
You know, and there are other pockets here and there, and individuals here and there, and you've heard like there's, you know, another group out on an island far to the east. You know, there's rumors of individuals that are very powerful, like one in particular that is so powerful he like affects the area around him, but he also moves, so like who knows where he is, or how to find him. It would take probably a lengthy search to like investigate and track him down.
Right.
So I mean, the Everwood might, depending on which ones you approach, because some of them are more, you know, like the Star Elves are very standoffish to outsiders, so they probably wouldn't be interested, but, you know, you might be able to find some others. You know, and then there's other realms, but that's even much higher difficulty.
And also harder, and it's going to take longer than
Yep.
where we are now.
Yeah.
I'm going to grab the group, grab Empress, and then I'm going to go back to Talon, right? That's her name?
Talon, yeah.
And I'm going to say, so, Talon, you are the last of the leadership that I know. I am not entirely sure what the leadership is going to look like as this country transitions.
Well, dear, I don't think there's going to be much leadership. Well, no, there's no rebellion, so there's no leadership left. I mean, I know they had a plan for who's going potential leadership of the country should they succeed.
Well, I would imagine that that is the next step for this country, is to rebuild.
Well, I hope so. If everything goes well and the general keeps his end of the bargain, and yeah, there'll be a lot of work to do.
Entris, I know Corandia is still reeling from the devastation.
And apparently about to be at war.
These people need safe harbor. And the only two countries we have ever stepped foot in where we have any connections are both actively in an unstable moment. And I don't know where to put these people because they need attention and they need help and they need guidance and they need competencies and they deserve to try to get healed if they can.
Sounds like they've been through a lot.
And I need your help. I don't know where they should go or whose resources they should use. We've got some money to put towards whoever needs it, but we don't have people.
So Enthra says, I could certainly help them in Corandia. It is a long journey with a lot of people, and we have to get out of here first.
There's still a lot of unsafe to get out of this country.
Yes, I don't know what to do until we get to Corandia. I can certainly help put resources in place to do whatever we can do once we get there.
Talon, do you know any way to even get out of this country now? I mean, I know ship side how to get out of here. We could potentially make our acquaintances that way, but putting these people on a ship may be very dangerous.
Well, I suppose the best bet would be to I suppose there's two choices. We make for the World Thorns, but that is a very dangerous prospect. Or we make for Garen. We could make for Northfire. I know how to survive there, but there's no question that this many people would have a hard time evading the Goliaths and other creatures up there, and it would be a very hard life. You have to work hard to survive up there. Garen will be the first to take advantage of the chaos that's coming to Lyrandil and do everything they can to be independent. Regian is has never been fully compliant in the first place. You could try figure out a way to get through the gates to the Helterlands and try to make that journey. The Helterlands are dangerous themselves with that many people, and it's a long journey over land. I certainly don't recommend you go south.
A DM question.
Mm-hmm.
How many people do you think we could fit through a tree portal in 6 seconds?
Probably
have
6. I mean,
probably
yeah, it's
6.
like one a second. Yeah.
Okay, got it.
I think that'd be pretty reasonable.
Yep.
Maybe with a dex check, I'd allow it to push for 7 or something like that. But like, I think it's pretty reasonable to say 1 per second. You can do that once per day
Yeah.
I have another question.
with an attunement. Somebody has to attune. to it.
Right.
I have another question, and I'm going to need a very honest answer. Would it be more humane to kill them?
I think Talon would probably speak first and just say, I can only speak for what Ildris teaches me, which is that no matter how hard the winter is, she teaches us to face it. So, I think life is valuable. I think it's worth protecting. I think I would. It's not really all my decision. It's not really my. It's a very messy situation. But I will never. I'd never be okay with doing that. That's Lyrandil's old thinking. That's the justification that leads to what Lyrandil became.
I am aware, and I did not ask that question lightly.
I understand.
Because I can't take care of them, and we can't take care of them. And getting them out of this country is going to be really hard. And once again, I'm going to be passing that responsibility onto somebody else.
Well, we've got quite a pickle to figure out anyway. We have 40 people of our own to figure out what to do with. Though they are getting better. But I don't think your lot's going to get much better without a lot of time and attention. If they even can. I mean, sounds like it's pretty serious. I wish Lenora were here. But no use dwelling on the past or what can't be. If you need me, whatever you need me for, I'll do. I'm only one woman, and I'm pretty sure I've got the help of another, and I think she needs to feel useful right now. But you know, then of course there's a few rebels that are still up and functional. And who knows, maybe the general will keep his word and making for Garen would be easier. Word travels slowly though sometimes, so we don't know what's going to happen.
Inthras.
think Inthras. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I think Inthras just says anything I say about this is going to be hypocritical. I did hold someone. I made someone a thrall. Now, trust me, he deserved it. But still, there's not much difference in function between what I did to him and what these people are going through. That being said, on the other hand, I know what it is like to be dominated by your own nature. And I would not wish that on my worst enemy. Like I said, hypocritical. Because I did do it to an enemy.
Valen, come here.
Yes.
When you dream, who do you see in your mind's eye?
My dreams are chaotic lately. They're broken. I don't sleep well. It's flashes of all the tests I've been through. People from like you and the other people from my past, and the vision I had of the Emerald Dragon. I see my sister, I see Kiri, I see Inthras and Errata, and but it's all broken, it's all just flashes, it's all mixed in with pain and being nearly drowned constantly. You know, being burned and broken and flayed and
No more of that.
as you wish.
I'm just gonna grab his hand and I'm gonna walk him towards what's her face.
Okay. So you walk her to Alanya. And so this is the decision.
Yes.
All right.
I'm gonna have Valen duck his head down and I'm gonna kiss his forehead. I'm gonna say, I hope this works. To everything that is asked of you by her, do not fight her. Do not resist.
I will pass this test as well.
Yes, you will.
So you see Alanya step forward and just kind of like tilt her head a little bit and like look. You almost get the impression of her like looking through him. And she walks, she like slowly kind of walks around behind him, and she runs her hand up like to his robes, and she kind of pulls it down like back off of his shoulders, till it's like, basically exposed down to the waist. And you see on his back is black markings in the shape of butterfly wings.
Through his dragon tattoo?
And you see her regard it for a time. And then she slowly walks around to the front. And she reaches to her belt and undoes the button on the latch at her pouch. And she pulls out a long, somewhat thin cylinder that comes to a point, like a razor sharp point of dark, almost black, what looks like glass. But you can see in this dark glass, you see like some shimmers of like this prismatic colors inside this dark glass. And she takes it in her hand and continues to regard Valen for a moment. And then she places the shard right at his heart. And then she kind of holds his gaze for a moment. And she takes it with one hand, and she puts her palm on the back of it on the other. And she shoves, sinking this shard into his chest, right where his heart is. You see him like, and suddenly you all have this vision of Valen standing on this ridge looking at a mountain. And you see coming up from behind the mountain a dragon. A dragon that is gargantuan. Like the head is the size of a large house. Bigger than any dragon you've ever seen, would dwarf the ancient dragon you even saw. As it, with one flap, comes up and lands on the top of the mountain, and you see the scales are metallic, not silver, but like almost like liquid metal, like reflecting everything around it. And you see it regard and look at Valen, and then you see Valen suddenly erupt in this spray of prismatic multicolored light. And the vision is suddenly gone, but you see Valen is like arched in place as this thing is embedded into him, almost like her hand is like holding him in place, like he can't move, but you see his whole body trembling violently. Like you see his mouth, like his head like thrown back, his mouth wide open in a like silent scream. And you see Enthris grabs your hand, and you know she knows what this feels like. She described it to you. It feels like dying. It is the most painful thing she has ever experienced, and it is very, very difficult. After what seems like an eternity of this state, you all don't even realize you're holding your breath, every muscle tensed as you watch this. And then you you see her with one smooth motion pull it back out, and you see Valen collapse to the ground, and you all wait. The late evening, the only sound, bugs coming out for the night, every breath still held, as Valen wakes up. And that's where we're going to end things.
Let's go!
Oh, my boy. He's back. Maybe. Did you see my note that I passed in?
No.
That's funny. I thought you did.
No, why? What is it?
Old Yeller.
That's what we saw these
Is that why when I said it?
Yeah.
Believe me, it's been sitting on the back of the
Yeah.
like, we could just scorch earth.
I didn't want to say it out loud. That's why I wrote it down. It was like,
Sarah will. That's a Sarah's job, is to say the thing no one wants to say. I've cried so many times this episode.
Welcome to the Everwind Chronicles. This is like this is an appropriate episode to be like really initiated into this the show.
Crazy.
It'd be like that a lot of the
My
times.
eyeballs are itchy.
this whole place and like all this madness and evil, and especially after getting Enwick, like Stoick's whole point of view on a lot of things has changed. Like, he's still super compassionate, but like,
Sarah's on your side on that one.
I think he's losing a lot of his like naivety about how like we can just be heroes all the time and like everything's good. It's like no. We may help hundreds of people, but we're really screwing over a couple, and I just need to accept that. And like, I think he's finally to that point where he's like, I don't care. Like, I'm gonna help as many people as I can, and the ones that I can't, I just have to not care. Because the moment, if I do, the whole train track thing.
Going
the
full
trolley problem.
Adressa on us, huh?
I mean, a little bit, man.
I was gonna say, I was like, and Sarah's in the opposite boat. She's like, how can you be this cold?
Yeah, and he hated her for it for a long time. But I'm telling you, this whole situation in this country has really like shifted his mindset a lot.
There's a lot of idealism, huh?
Yeah. Well, yeah, because like, I mean, dude, the king was probably trying to do the best he could. Like, the king really probably thought he was helping his country, you know what I mean? And in some ways he probably was. But then, like, when you have that mindset, then you get people like Enwick coming in and
Saying
you
all
get
the right things.
And you get all these other players coming in, and that's how you get Greenwood. And like, you really need to step back and go, what is in the best interest? Fuck everybody else. You know what I mean? Like, yeah. Yeah, it's definitely changed his mindset a little bit. It's funny that we've
swapped.
yeah.
So Sarah's now like, you can't ignore this. Like, you can't say fuck anybody who isn't us.
But you're right. No, he's not ignoring it. He's just accepting it. That's the difference. Like, you want accountability, like, we're going to take responsibility. He wants accountability like, oh, no. I understand the ramifications. Like, still going to do it. There's a difference.
Yeah.
Right? And before, he wasn't accepting those consequences. He wasn't accepting the guilt. He wasn't accepting the choices. He was just trying to do good. You know what I mean? And like, well, I did my best, and now he's like, no. I mean, we've killed so many people at this point. You know what I mean? Like, I look at those 21 dudes, and I'm like, if any one of them would have came to us, we'd have killed them in an instant without even thinking about it. So why am I gonna wreck what I got going on? Like, I truly just didn't want the bad guy to have him. I don't care.
Sarah's not that.
Yeah.
Divergent from the Hadressa path, huh?
Maybe, I don't know. She's very conflicted right now. Leadership is not something she's ever worn, and she doesn't like the way it fits.
Makes me interested to see what your next conversation with Hadressa is like, if you do.
Yeah.
I am really ready to just. I honestly, my plan was to take him to a hotel and just be like, they live here now. Because like we have enough money.
Yeah.
We have so much money.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That we don't really need. I mean,
You can do whatever you want.
we could go fund the war in Karandia at this point. That's how much money that we have.
Yep.
You absolutely could. Which was what Arizai's point was. Like,
Uh-huh.
He gave it to you. He's like,
I know,
curious
and I
see
want to
what
go
you're
back to
gonna do with
Karandia, and I
this.
want to do that because that's still where my loyalties lie. Like, I know we helped this country out, but like,
Sarah's over here like, fuck, can't stomach gold, but let me take that platinum and just buy Tiratha. Like, let me just own that, my whole home city.
Oh, man. Oh, good stuff.
Yeah.
So, next episode, I will fill you in on what's been happening with Fallon.
Oh, Check
We'll
one
have control
hiding.
over him.
Oh my god!
Ooh.
You're 2 characters.
double down,
Two
buddy.
characters that don't know what's going on.
I'm not DM. I cannot manage 2 characters.
All right, I saw you
Some
roll.
decisions to make.
Yep.
I saw you roll. Was it 50-50?
More or less, yeah.
Okay. Well, you don't have to tell me. I'm just curious. Like,
It was 10 or higher, and he rolled a 10.
Oh my god!
when you rolled, I was like, that's ballsy.
Wow.
I was like,
I mean, that was the thing. It was either it succeeds or not.
yeah, that's why I was like, oh, and he made a roll for it. I was like,
Yeah, this process is deep magic. Like, this is big boy stuff.
Oh, yeah.
It is. Or big girl in this case. Like, this is stuff that is messing with your very nature. And it hasn't even gone into how deep it gets, but like this is like soul level stuff. Like,
Yeah.
this is, and like I said, you haven't even fully explored exactly what the implications of what's happening is, or what it means, or what it is, why yet. But yeah, it's a lot for a person to go through. Even a powerful person like a vampire, like it is a
Oh, yeah.
a monarch. It is a lot for a person to go through, or any creature. And so, yeah, there's a chance that you just won't get through that process. You won't make it through. Yeah, but good stuff. Good stuff. So, we will be back next week, and we will continue on and see where you guys go, what you guys decide to do, and yeah, what you're going to do with this new information that you gained from Farian and the return of Valenren and etc. It's going to be really, really interesting. So, we will be back next week. See you guys later.